The only thing we have to
Beer.
is
Beer.
itself.
Beer. So many choices.
Only no function beer well without.
Woohoo! Beer! Hello and welcome to another episode of Beer Busters, where we're going to bring you the news and reviews of your favorite brews. I am Dan Baker, joined by my co-host and brewologist,
Steph Hefner.
and of course the demented and fermented
Wayne Baby Juices Baker.
Okay, that's just weird.
I just realized that the Baby Juices is on
Yeah.
the tablecloth right in front of me.
Yeah, it's still, it was a
What
good...
is that from?
That's
Stolen
from
Sun.
Stolen Sun. They
Yeah,
have a
it's
beer
one of their
called
beer names.
Baby Juices.
We're recording there again.
We
are.
are. I'm looking forward to that.
Me too.
We're back in Elizabethtown, though. We were just here not too long ago with our friends at Mood Duck, but we are now here at Cox Brewing, and we have two guys with us who, one has been on the show before, the other I don't believe has. But gentlemen, if you wouldn't mind introducing yourselves.
Nick Cox.
And
Tim Kreider.
gentlemen, thank you so much for, one, having us out here, and two, coming onto the show.
Yeah, thank you.
Of course. So we did have some of the beer. We had you on the show at Ephrata, it was. The beer was incredible, and you were pouring your beer out of a motorcycle.
Yes,
Yes.
that was pretty cool.
Which was really, really, really cool, and I've never seen anything like that. Are we getting beer out of a motorcycle today at all?
We can say we are.
All right, yeah.
Yeah, this is all theater of the mind. You can just say whatever.
Exactly. No, I'm super pumped to be here. This is a very long time in the making. So again, thank you for having us out here.
Yeah.
Now, if anybody out there in the internet land wants to follow along and see what's happening, remember you can follow us on Twitter and Instagram. We're at Beer Busters. Facebook, there's Beer Busters Podcast, and also beerbusterspodcast.com. And patreon.com/beerbusters, where you get access to Last Call and you get to see and hear the punishments.
Yep.
And today's is going to be a doozy.
It is. I'm excited for today's punishment.
I'm scared.
Yeah, I had to get something overnighted from Amazon for it. So
You got that overnighted?
yeah, I was Prime. It was free.
Yeah.
Isn't everything overnight now? Because
Pretty
it's
much,
like
yeah.
the holiday.
Yeah. But yeah, also, don't forget, if you're a little more generous on Patreon, everyone gets access to the bonus content, but you can also get your name read out on the show during our patron shout-out after the game, and certain tiers also get their names in the credits of the punishment videos, so something to check out. Patreon.com/beerbusters. Oh, and sign up for our newsletter, and rate and review the podcast.
Yes, do that.
All those things.
What else do you want from them?
Send us beer in the mail. We always like that.
Good beer.
Yeah. Tell your friends about the show.
There's also that.
Visit our website. Click on all the ads. That's about it.
Use our URLs that we have in our ads in the break.
Yeah. Do that. Oh, and call the phone number, 805-991-BEER.
Don't call the phone number. Like, the only person that uses it anymore, it's like Joe Mann stopped using it. It's just Brian Mills. And then he just sent me a message on Facebook the other day to tell me about a beer that's coming up instead of using the phone number. So I think it's defunct.
Oh, well.
Anyway, you know what's not defunct? That was the worst segue I think I've ever done in my life.
When in doubt, just say speaking of.
Speaking of, so this episode is about 5 weeks ahead of its release. So I wasn't going to do news. Then I realized something big happened the week of the recording. So our opinions of it are kind of on the breaking end of the news, but you will have probably forgotten out there in podcast land that this happened. But another member of the old guard of craft brewing sold when Kieran-owned Lion Little World Beverages announced a definitive agreement to acquire 100% of New Belgium Brewing Company in an all-cash transaction. Financial terms of the deal were not disclosed, although it's expected to close at the end of 2019, which I can't think. Is this going to air in 2020?
Are we 5 weeks out? No, this will be around.
This will be the
after
end of
Christmas,
2019.
New Year's, somewhere around there. Steph is checking the calendar.
December 27th.
There you
All
go.
right, so it probably happened or may be happening in the near future as of when this goes live. But it's pending approval from government regulators as well as co-owners in New Belgium's employee stock ownership plans. Now, once closed, the transaction will mark the end of New Belgium's 100% employee-owned status, which that's kind of
like
weird.
Redner's.
Yeah, well, Redner's probably didn't sell to a giant conglomerate, which was fully implemented in 2012, and the end of the company's status as a small and independent craft brewer, as defined by National Trade Group and the Brewers Association. New Belgium's headquarters will remain in Fort Collins, and CEO Steve Fechheimer will remain at the helm, and co-founder Kim Jordan will also remain involved in an advisory role and will collaborate with other founders within Lion's portfolio. So there we go, another one. Another one's gone.
Can I just read Ethan's response to this?
Oh, I saw that.
That's actually what came to mind first But please go ahead.
I think Ethan Buckman, Stickman. I think most people that listen to our podcast know who Ethan is by now. And cue everybody losing their shit about New Belgium. Quick tip. If the brewery being purchased is large enough to have an HR department and the owner hasn't done a shift on the floor in 10 plus years, you're really fucking delusional if you think the sellout moment happened at the point of selling the company. Nobody cares about how you won't drink Fat Tire anymore.
I'll still drink Fat Tire.
I'll probably drink it if it's available.
I like Fat Tire.
Especially since I can get free cans on the airplane.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, because you got your fancy credit card. I just get discounts on my stuff.
I get free beer.
Well, how
Congratulations.
about that? Yeah, no, that's actually a very good point that Ethan brings up. Like, when a beer company gets that big, I mean, they're obviously nationally distributed. They've been around for a long time. You can get their beer anywhere. They're already a giant corporation, so
Yeah.
being scooped up by...
They were employee owned though, which
Yeah,
was
I
pretty
mean,
cool, but
it's-
that won't be a thing anymore.
Yeah, I mean, it's more of a... I guess it's more of a nuanced financial distinction than anything else. Like, the company's still the company, and it's still as big as it was, and it'll still continue to be that big, I'm sure. So, but yeah, I like Fat Tire. I'll still drink it.
I think we've come a long way.
Yeah. Don't let it piss you off.
It's just beer. Hit the button.
Sorry,
Are you-
fuck
are
is he
you-
doing? Instagramming.
Oh my God, Dan is Instagramming during the show. This is
I have to
unprecedented.
take some pressure off of Steph.
Who's going to keep us on track?
Not me, apparently. I never really do, anyway. Where the fuck is it? There it is.
Don't let it piss you off.
There
Thanks,
we go.
Gene. Thank you.
At least it wasn't Anheuser.
Well,
that's
that's true.
That's true. It wasn't another AB InBev
Yeah.
buy-up. There's a company that bought them. Do they own other breweries? Are they? I don't know the details of this story.
You're asking me while I'm not looking at my phone.
Does
I don't
anyone
know either.
Everything
I didn't really
I
read
saw
about it.
just said Kieran owns,
Are you
which is
millennial about
Yeah.
this?
I am very much. Yeah, I just saw the head.
Japanese, I believe.
Is it?
Japanese, I think.
That sounds right. We'll say that. Sure.
We can fact check
Their
this.
beer is at all those hibachi steakhouses. So
Oh, there you go.
that's where
there you
you'll be able to get the New Belgian there.
There
now,
you go.
too.
See, Fat Tire is now available at.
There was a time when we
Hibachi Bar
couldn't
and
get it
Grill.
in Pennsylvania. I used to drive to
Yeah.
Maryland just to buy bottles of the Lips of Faith beer.
Yeah, it's literally in anywhere you can buy beer. There's probably Fat Tire there.
Yeah.
yeah, it's just all over.
I had been out west quite a few times, and I had some people tell me, like, have you tried this Fat Tire? And I'm like, yeah, I've had it 100 times. They're like, well, you can now buy it in PA. And I was like, what? When couldn't I buy
Yeah,
it? in
right,
PA?
right.
It was a big deal. It was
Yeah.
not that long ago.
Have you heard of this hip
Turns
new
out I
drink
couldn't.
called Pepsi?
the fuck?
But yeah, and then the Fat Tire is another one of those breweries that is sort of at that point that we've talked about a lot on the show, where they're like mid to national size. Like in the market right now, it's really tough for those size breweries. The smaller,
Yeah.
sort of local breweries like what you guys have here are the ones that are doing really well. And you know, your Stones, your New Belgiums, and those sorts of things are feeling
Green
a
Flash.
pinch. Green Flash,
Green
yeah.
Flash.
Yeah.
R.I.P.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we've said it before. We'll say it again. When you're listening to this happened 5 weeks ago. By then, there might be another story just like this that came out.
Do you think that the mid-sized breweries in this area, though, will survive because of the craft culture we have, especially in the Philly area? Like Yards and Victory. I feel like they're untouchable right now.
I think they will survive. I think they might contract like a lot of them have. And
well,
I think-
Victory sort of already has because
Yeah.
they're with Southern Tier now.
Yeah. Yeah, either team up with others or reduce their footprint.
Aren't they with 6.2 or what is that?
Oh, yeah,
Oh,
6
yeah,
points with them,
that's
too.
in the mix
Yeah,
too.
yeah, that's
Oh,
true.
There was another thing about artisanal. Hold that thought.
Oh.
I wasn't gonna bring this one up, but now we mentioned artisanal. A day after New Belgium announced that they were going to sell to Kieran-owned Lion Little World Beverages, Artisanal Brewing Ventures revealed an agreement to expand its portfolio beyond beer with the planned acquisition of Bold Rock Hard Cider in Nellies Ford, Virginia.
Yeah,
I've never heard of them.
acquisitions in cider.
Neither
That's,
have I.
Craft beer
Future of
2019.
beer is not beer.
I'd rather it be craft cider than White Claw
Hey.
shits.
You need to have press. I'm going to push that brand every fucking episode. The shit's good.
White Claw?
It's better than White Claw.
What? Which one? What?
Press.
Oh.
Oh, I thought you meant press as in like
we need
like
you,
the
you
news.
need press
No,
coverage
the
of it.
name. Fuck
You
you.
need to have press.
This is you don't
You
listen
have
to me.
No, we don't. But you have to be more specific. Maybe we would.
Do they have a seltzer called Freedom?
No.
You can go Freedom of the Press.
Freedom of the.
You're fucking funny.
I like that.
Boom, dad joke.
I like that. Specific financial terms of that deal, which is expected to close by the end of 2019, were not disclosed. Comes a year after ABV, which formed in 2016. This is a cold read, sorry. Transaction comes 1 year after ABV, which formed via the 2016 merger of Victory and Southern Tier. With the backing of Ulysses Management acquired 6 Point, which we already said. Okay, it's happening.
There you go.
Okay.
That was a bad read.
Lawyers, beer, and money.
Yeah, exactly.
But we're at Cox Brewing. Let's talk about
We are
that.
at Cox Brewing. Let's get to the topic at hand. All right, so we got to go back. How long has Cox been here in existence?
What, 2015?
Wow.
Did we
April.
open?
Coming
April
up
will
on
be
5 years.
Yeah.
Very cool. Well, congrats on that.
Thank you.
How
It was a
has-
long time in the process of
bet.
opening too. I mean, 2015 is when we finally opened for people to come in and drink
Yeah.
beer, but it was a while prior to that.
3 years.
Wow.
I was standing around doing work, saying that eventually we'll own a brewery.
Did you always want to be in Elizabethtown?
Well, yeah, I think Tim and I both grew up in Rheems, so whenever we decided that owning a brewing company was something we were going to do, Rheems was the natural place to come to. I mean, the only thing in Rheems was Cope's Corn and Wanger Feeds, and we brought a brewery.
There's
Yeah,
also a
it's,
pretty storied Burger King just down the road.
True that, yes. A lot of
Technically
history
not
there.
Rheems, though. It's on the wrong side of the tracks.
Well, isn't the shopping center there like Rheems Shopping Center? I saw the sign. Is that one of
It's
those?
live.
Is it like the Philadelphia outlets that are
Yeah,
in Limerick?
or LA Fitness.
That's actually technically not true.
Posers. They're posers.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just trying to take some of our Rheems hype.
Yeah.
I've had people tell me that they lived
Wait,
in
there's
Rheems
Rheems hype?
across the street
Rheems
from Norlanco, which is a little medical complex down the road. They're like, "Oh yeah, I lived in Rheems," and I'm like,
No, you
"Dude, that
didn't.
ain't Rheems.
No,
You're
you
on the
didn't.
wrong side of the tracks."
No, you didn't live in Rheems. Rheems is, we have a 4-way stop now. We're pretty excited about that.
Yeah.
That's
but,
cool.
Then there's only one other stop sign on the main drag,
Yeah.
and then us, and like you
Nice.
said, Wangers.
Yep.
Yeah.
Feed mill and a brewery.
We do
Nice.
have a post office, which we're holding on to. I think I actually have 2 post office boxes there, so they don't close it down. But yeah.
Are you the only P.O. boxes there?
No, actually, in Rheems, they if you don't have a mailbox at your house, you have to go through the post office.
Right. I guess kind of
But
makes
if
sense.
you get a mailbox at your house, then your address streams to Elizabethtown.
Yeah. Your mailing address is E-Town.
Yeah.
So they're just trying to like slowly erase
They
Rheems
are.
from
They
the
are.
map.
It's been a long time coming. But
Wow. Wow.
They're
Man.
absorbing us.
Yes.
Is that part of the reason
But-
you opened the brewery here? You always
Yeah.
you could
Trying
always
to
say
promote
Rheems,
Rheems.
Pennsylvania on all your
Yes,
materials.
and that is the reason why we have PO boxes. So we have
Oh, so you have
an
it
official
okay.
Rheems
Address.
mailing address.
Yes.
That makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. We were required to put a post office or a mailbox up here by the LCB just to get our license mailed to us, and
Yeah.
then they started just emailing them
Yeah,
to
now
us
it's
after
online.
we did that. So
Oh, yeah, I guess you can't have it mailed to a PO box.
No.
it had
Well,
to be a
now
physical address, but-
now you renew it online and you just print it.
Oh, you don't even
And
have to.
Here's your
yeah.
license.
So it was always going to be Rheems, but because they required us to put a mailbox in,
Right.
then it became Elizabethtown,
Yeah.
and then they don't send it to us anyway. So
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, we couldn't when we formed an LLC for the podcast a few years ago, and we couldn't use a PO box. We had to have a physical address.
yeah.
I remember
Yeah.
that. Wow.
Yep.
Because we weren't sure whose address we were going to put down for it.
The one who owns her home.
Well,
But
that was a safe bet anyway.
So, 5 years.
Yeah, 5 years and 3 years before that. When did you guys land on the idea of opening a brewery, and why?
Well, we both kind of entered the home brewing around the same time. I had just gotten out of active duty military. Tim was working with a buddy of ours who we consider our mentor, who got us into home brewing in the first place. And I guess you had gone and brewed some batches
Yeah.
with him, and then I undertook home brewing. And I don't know, when was that? 2005?
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Something
Yeah.
like
in
that?
Lebanon. In Lebanon.
Yeah.
Hitting our heads on the floor joists in your basement.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so home brewing, and then ultimately that led to homebrew competitions, and one day we did a homebrew competition. It was actually at Booby's Brewery.
We brewed there.
we did. That was a while ago.
Well, so have we.
Yeah.
But one of the places that we took best in show in that homebrew competition, and I don't want to mention the other place, but we beat another place that has since opened a brewery as well. However, they had like 4 dudes and all kinds like signage and pictures of their stuff, and I was
Bottle
like,
labels,
whoa,
everything. Yeah, it
these
was
guys
decked
are
out.
like next level, and I'm using like igloo coolers and stuff, in my basement. And I was like, we need to pool our resources here. We're getting beaten out because these guys can put 4 incomes together, and I have my measly income. So we need to pool resources. So that's kind of where it started from there.
And actually, ironically, I think it was probably about 2 or 3 years after that, my wife and I were just stumbled onto that brewery that had opened, and they actually recognized me from that day, and they said, "Why are you guys not opening a brewery? Like everybody's So there were
See,
multiple
because we
other
don't have
breweries
labels.
in that competition that
Yeah.
actually started their own breweries in
Yeah.
the meantime. And to be honest, that was kind of, I think, the kick in the ass to be like, you know what, maybe we should give this a shot. Because, you know,
Yeah.
otherwise you're a home brewer, you're giving away free beer to your friends, and it's, of course, it's always good. you
Yeah,
know, but
yeah.
this being
Yep.
outside, you know.
That is, and I was just going to say that
Right.
that is sort of the trick, because when you're just homebrewing for your friends and family, they're all going to be like, yeah, it's good, even
is
if
the
it's
best.
terrible.
Right.
Right.
But to get that feedback, like to win competitions and to have other brewers that have gone professional say, hey, you guys should do this too.
Yeah.
That's,
Well, and the other thing is that it still is a consistent reward for winning a homebrew competition is like you can come hand your beer out to more people for free.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
you're like, oh, well, thank you for that.
Yeah.
So more people can drink my beer for free, but what do I get? Nothing.
Right.
Yeah, there's
Notoriety.
no return on that investment.
Right. Yeah.
all.
No, so, and I mean, when you go to a brewery, like we do the Lidditz Beer Fest, we sponsor one of those winners for the homebrew competition, and they come here and make the beer, but they don't pay for it. But you know, those guys, even when they get narrowed down to the bottom 10, they have to make more beer to bring with them to ultimately win the homebrew competition. So, and that was a consistent prize across homebrewing, and you know, we kind of started thinking, this is something. You know, we're already doing all these things. We're already handing beer out at Beer Fest. Let's start making it
like get money for it.
legitimately,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. And I know we're going to touch on, you guys have a new system here at the brewery, but when you guys started out, when you made that shift from homebrewing to professional, what kind of, were you brewing on like a glorified homebrew system when you started?
Yeah, we built it actually.
Yeah.
We stopped buying things. It was all getting way too expensive. It's all
Yeah,
like
that's
what's that company? Blickman.
Yeah.
Everything was so expensive, so we started making stuff. We just buy stock pots and drill holes in them and turn them into mash tuns and boil kettles and what have you. My father-in-law owned a distribution company and backed a forklift into a giant piece of pallet rack and twisted it. So they couldn't use it anymore. So we had 30 feet of pallet rack material that he's like, here, you can have it. So we cut it apart and turned it into a beer sculpture. It's the same one that's in the room next door.
Wow.
Right now. Basically, we made our own homebrew beer stand and then brought that over here and just increased the burners and the pots and everything else. So there wasn't a huge transition
Right.
from garage to
15
legitimate
to
brewing
maybe
space.
now a barrel.
I was going to say what the
yeah.
capacity was about a barrel.
Yeah,
so-
we're currently still using it. I mean, we
right,
still-
right. You haven't actually broken in the new
Yeah.
one yet. Yeah.
Now, by the time this airs, I would imagine we probably
Yeah.
will be. But
So
Hopefully,
you guys like brewing constantly now then to keep up?
I do about 5 to 7 batches a week.
Yeah.
So
Wow. Yeah.
some days
Are you
3
doing
a day.
I was going to
Yeah.
say
At least 2 a
batches.
day. if
Three a
not
day.
3 a day.
Fuck. No wonder you have a lazy boy upstairs.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a long day.
Yeah.
So
You
you're
just gotta
boiling
figure
and
it
then
out,
you
though.
start mashing the next.
I can cross over probably about 45 minutes between batches.
That's not bad.
So yeah.
He's got the timing figured out.
Yeah,
You
I mean,
have
even
to.
down to
Shit.
the water fill, 3
Yeah.
minutes to get the gallons, this many of the, 7
Yep.
minutes for this, 7 minutes for that. I mean, I got timers going off everywhere.
So tell us about this beautiful monstrosity behind you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
It looks all shiny right now.
It is. Yeah.
Everything's
right
so
now.
clean
Yeah.
right now.
It's still clean. It's not all hooked up yet, but basically, we decided to go with SS Brew Tech for our brew house, and pretty much everything in here is SS Brew Tech at this point. All our fermenters. We got 5 10-barrel and 1 20-barrel fermenter, and a 10-barrel brew house from SS Brew Tech. So we're not sure if it works yet.
Yeah, no, we
haven't turned
they didn't,
it on.
They didn't give us a manual on how to hook everything up.
Yeah,
so
I mean, it
we're
certainly looks.
kind of just
I
doing
mean,
it. But we
yeah,
think
I mean,
this-
it looks
we
good.
think this goes there.
Yeah, right.
looks like it fits.
Yeah, there was no manual, and
Yeah.
and I don't know if that. I mean, people may listen to this and be like, "Of course, there's no manual." Like,
Yeah, I didn't-
we
yeah,
all knew
yeah.
that. Well, we didn't. So it
I would
showed up.
assume it would have one.
Right.
At least
There's a
some
lot
sort
of
of-
things that need to connect to a lot of other things.
Yeah,
Yeah.
nothing.
Yeah.
Weird.
Nothing. I think the only literature we got was for like the pumps, some of the stuff that wasn't manufactured by SS Brewtech,
Right,
like
right.
the third party
Oh, yeah,
pieces.
yeah.
They came with material, some literature, but
Right.
nothing they made.
Yeah.
No. So we're like,
Wow.
hey, how do we hook this up? And they sent us a picture. They emailed us a picture and was like, right here.
Like
It's like,
this.
oh, of
Okay,
course.
like
this.
Of
Yeah.
course, that's where
Got
it
it.
goes.
Although I do kind of feel like maybe that's a good thing, because it kind of creates a barrier to entry that like not just anybody can be like, oh, I'm just going to buy a professional brewing system. Like you kind of
Yeah.
already have to know what you're doing
I
a
would
little
imagine
bit.
that there are options for businesses like this to come out and hook it up for you.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
We've never gone that route. We kind of always do things ourselves. So like build whatever we build ourselves.
Yeah.
So we're fairly handy with construction.
It's kind of like a Lego kit. You know, like you guys can figure it out. I mean, it looks like you did. You haven't tried it yet, but it looks like it's going to work.
Yeah.
So
No, I think we've got it pretty much figured out at this point. We know where everything goes.
Yeah.
And it wasn't too
talked to other
difficult. It's just,
places as well.
staring at it the first time, you're like, holy smokes, where am I going to...
Yeah.
And there's, you can see from here, there's 30 some odd valves just on the front of it. So...
Yeah,
Can you tell them about the grist hopper quickly, please?
Oh, yeah.
That story
you
is
go ahead.
fabulous.
Okay, so when the equipment was delivered, it came on 2 different trucks. The fermenters, the grist hopper, they all came in one truck, and then the brew house came the next day. And when the grist hopper got here, it looked a lot bigger than I had thought it was going to be. Now, SS had told me that it was going to be 15 feet with the grist hopper above the mash tun and the auger motor. When we got it here and we started measuring things, and it's like, this ain't going to fit. So
I see where you're going now.
We literally had to remove a portion of the ceiling and a rafter and jack basically the roof up just to be able to get that to fit in here. But
wow,
it's all good now, and it looks like that's the way it's supposed to be. So,
Yeah, I wouldn't have noticed it wasn't supposed to be there.
Yeah, it's when you're in the middle of explaining it, I was like, oh yeah, there's like a the roof is different there, and then like the line there, it goes from
that's the auger.
It goes outside.
It actually goes into the attic, and then
there's an attic up there. Okay.
Space there.
All right. I was gonna say,
Yep, and then shoots down
And then
into
the
mill
mill's up
room.
there.
over there. Yeah. Oh, and the mill's on the second floor up there.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
All the grain storage will be up here. And
Okay.
Mill's
Okay.
right there.
Wow. That's funny.
Yeah. No.
What and speak aside from vertical space, which obviously you didn't have quite enough, you do have a lot of floor space in here for this sort of size of brewery. Like a lot of places we go, they're like shoving things in the tightest corners that you can find.
Yeah.
Don't laugh at that.
It definitely fills up quick. I mean, it does allow us a little bit of room to add some more things in the future if need be. But yeah,
it's a good size. I think it fits in here nicely.
Yeah.
Where is your drain?
It comfortably fits a podcast.
There's
they're all over the place.
in
There's
front of it. Is it
over
covered?
there,
Yeah.
There's one over there.
there's a big trough
This
drain
is
right
a big
there.
it's just
trough
covered,
drain.
okay.
So because we have the forklift and trucks and things, that you can drive a semi over the cover of the
Of the
floor
drain. Okay.
just so it doesn't break the floor or whatever, crack, whatever we cover it with.
Right. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was all manufactured too.
There's drains everywhere.
Which is the one thing we did not have next door. So
Right, yeah.
that was
You didn't have drains over there?
no.
No.
I
Did you just
Wow.
mop everything.
mop
up.
everything outside?
Wing it.
Or
Wow.
basically. So this will be nice. I can literally actually take a pressure washer, squeegee.
Yeah.
Like a real brewery.
Exactly.
You're a real brewery now.
That's like those are the little
You can
things
use a
that,
squeegee.
when people first walk in or whatever, they look at it, they're like, they see the equipment and everything. What's exciting to me is things like that.
Yeah.
A floor drain. I mean, yes.
Yeah.
This is a huge step for us.
It is. It is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We still get people today that'll come into the brewery next door and sit down and be like, oh, do you guys do brewery tours? And we're like, sure, yeah, just spin around in your seat
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
you
There's
see
the
everything.
brewery.
This
Yes.
is all of it.
There it is.
That's funny.
Do you like a beer?
So you guys are saying, next door is like the tap room and the system you're brewing on right now.
Yeah.
Did you guys have this space originally? I don't remember when we were first here. I don't think this was part of it, right?
No, not originally. It how long have we had this now?
Almost 2 years.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's been sitting over here with the idea that we were going to expand into this space, but it was just storage for a while.
Yeah, there was a previous tenant that rented this bay, and he moved out, and rather than rent it to someone else, we decided we'd take it.
Yeah.
Because we knew we were going to be moving in here eventually. So
Right.
Yeah,
it basically sat empty, maybe dry storage stuff for maybe about a year, and then I'd say back in January we really started doing construction with all the concrete and the flooring, and we had to put a whole new septic system in and everything, and now we're here.
Yeah.
So you guys had to redo this floor as well?
Yeah,
Before you
we jackhammered, cut up the concrete, ran all the floor drains in, had to rip up the driveway and put that septic tank in, and there was quite a bit of
Had it
construction
epoxy
had to do.
too,
Oh,
which
yeah,
is
it
nice.
Yeah.
It's epoxy.
It's Yeah, it's special.
It's
We're
slightly
excited
shiny.
about that.
I've never heard anybody get so
Slightly
excited
shiny.
over epoxy. I love it.
Yeah.
The way can you say it that way again?
We wanted to epoxy next door, but it wasn't in the cards.
You wanted to
so
do what?
No.
We wanted to put an epoxy down.
Epoxy.
Am I saying it wrong?
No, I think
No,
you're
it's
saying
just-
it right.
What's
but
the
yeah,
thing that
it's-
Spencer did at Levante and last call? The
The-
way he, do you call that shit?
The
No,
slide
no,
whistle.
no,
No.
no, 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 no. When you speak in a way to like calm people down.
Oh, ASMR.
Yeah.
Oh, ASMR. Yeah.
I'm just saying epoxy.
Doesn't look like it calmed him down.
It has the opposite effect,
Yeah.
actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what it reminded me of.
Yeah.
Not the fucking slide whistle.
Well, that's the thing that we have 5 sound clips
Oh my
of.
god!
Yeah.
Please don't ever play
I'm not.
that.
I'm not going to
Please
do it. I'm
don't
not going
play
to do it now.
Please
I
don't.
might. I might
Oh,
at some
God.
point.
It'll come up
Oh,
later,
God.
I'm sure.
I was looking for a different one that I don't think
You'll
I
do
have
it
on
right
here.
in the middle of New Year beers.
Probably.
Yeah, there you go. So,
You shouldn't have given me that idea.
have you guys
I know how your brain operates.
trying to get back on the rails? Really trying. Have you guys decided when you're going to start brewing in here yet? Do you have it worked out, or are you still kind of?
Well, because of our the way that we install everything ourselves, we don't hire anybody to come in here and do anything really. So we kind of do all the work ourselves. So it's really on when we can get everything done, and we've been working pretty diligently to
Plus,
get
plus
it
what we
open.
have to do on a normal, regular schedule as far
Right,
as brewing and
Yeah,
delivering
yeah.
and all
Yeah,
that
he's
other
still
stuff.
brewing on a one-barrel
He's
system.
still working the Gap. So,
Yeah,
Did you say he's still working at the Gap?
at the Gap. Yeah,
well, not okay.
Not-
Fort
not-
Indian Town Gap, to be clear. Not like the store Gap. No, yeah, sorry. Yeah,
yes. Fort Indian
He doesn't
Town.
seem
Nick-
like a Gap guy.
Nick's still active
Is that what
duty.
you?
He's still up there.
You guys
Yeah.
call it the Gap?
Yeah,
I've never heard that.
Fort Indian Town
Fort Indian
Gap.
Town
Yeah.
Gap.
I know what Fort Indian Town Gap
Yeah,
is, but
yeah.
I've never heard anyone call it the Gap.
Oh, yeah. We just call it the
Yeah,
Gap.
it's just a Gap. Yeah.
Well, now you know.
No, I know.
Now you know.
So yeah, based off of that, I mean, with those full schedules as they are, we've been piecing it together, and we want to get it done as fast as we possibly can. But there's so many other commitments and obligations that we have to do. So
Yeah.
ideally-
We're definitely eager to turn it on.
Yeah, we want to
Yes.
see. Like I
Yeah.
said
Talk about the
earlier,
board.
We don't. Yeah, go
Yes,
ahead.
the
Talk about
board.
the board.
We have a control board
It's so
with
fancy.
buttons.
that we
and
don't
stuff.
know what
I
it's
wanna
going to look
touch it.
like when
There's
we
a
turn
couple
it
switches on there. I think it's touchscreen too. I don't know.
It's got to be touchscreen because it's missing buttons if it's not.
All right, yeah.
There's just a few dials. There's not a
got
whole lot
dial-
there.
But
Right.
okay,
It's a big light
touchscreen
button.
in I feel like that's a bad idea.
I've seen
because it's going to get wet.
No, I've seen touchscreen controls at a bunch of places. When
But you have gloves
South
on.
County, when they got their new system the first time, they had a touchscrene. Doesn't Trogs have a touchscreen system?
They do.
Probably.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I've
Trogs, they
seen
don't
those.
need to wear gloves to brew at Trogs.
That's true, but it has like a water resistant coating on it. Like,
Hopefully.
We'll find out.
We're going to
Okay,
find
you
out.
guys need to like send me a video when you turn that on for the first time.
Yeah.
We're gonna have
Please.
a big production about that.
We will, but as you can see, the boil
We're gonna have a
kettle,
board turning on
the
party.
boil kettle, or I don't know, some of it is just a switch. So I figure there's got to be somewhere to adjust the temperature and things.
Yeah.
I mean, there's got to be, right?
Yeah. Otherwise, it's just an on-off switch.
yeah. It's
Hopefully-
fully
Maybe
automatic.
it's like my phone and it just knows what I'm thinking.
yeah.
Oh,
Maybe it's like a really like
hey
a,
board, turn up.
Yeah,
mash
no,
time.
it's like super smart, like AI. Like it just figures out what grains you've put in. It's like
Yeah.
it looks like you're trying to make a pilsner.
This is
Yeah.
the newest board they offer, so I don't know.
Right. That's what, they don't, none of this is, if you go on their website, you won't see this board. You see the old ones. So
Oh, yeah.
we have no idea what this is going to look like when we turn it on.
and obviously no manual.
It's the artificial
As we've
intelligence
already
model.
stated. Yeah.
Now, the one thing is, though, we might get pushed back on is they do send out a rep to, work with us, I guess, the first, time we do
I mean
it.
that makes sense for
And-
them.
right.
Yeah.
And, I mean, so based off of their schedule, that may be an issue, too.
Yeah,
we may have to be
yeah.
pushed back until they can come
Until
out.
they-
But,
More important question: have you decided what the first beer?
I was
going
gonna
to
ask that. Yeah.
we have.
Yeah, we have a lot of different beers that we've made, so we tossed it around a while. We wanted to make sure it was something that we don't brew all the time, because if we completely screw it up, then people will be like, well, that is definitely not what you're saying it is.
Yeah.
So we went with, I think, the Big Red One,
Bro,
which
yeah.
is, it's basically a double version of our amber ale, the 82nd amber that we have. We ultimately we just doubled the recipe, and that's exactly what it is.
Pretty much, yeah.
We've only made it a handful of times, so that's probably be the first beer, but that's going to be immediately followed by the second, third, fourth, fifth,
Yeah,
and
it's
sixth
just-
beer.
yeah.
So that week will be a busy week, I imagine, once we finally turn it on and start brewing.
Right.
Get all these things full. Is the idea.
You guys offer one. Do you only do the one lager, the Liberty Lager? Or do you do other lagers?
That's the core. That's one of our core beers. So like
Okay.
the Liberty is always on.
Right.
Now we do have the Roush. Like currently,
Oh,
that's
okay. Yeah,
that's
yeah,
a
yeah.
lager. The Fat Cow technically is a Baltic Porter, so that's lager.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So there's several lagers.
I know, right?
that
These all
we'll
sound
make.
really good. We're gonna have to get to the beer soon.
You make a Schwartz beer, and I will move in
We
here.
do make a Schwartz
We do
beer.
make a- we make a
It's
Schwartz
usually
beer. I'm gonna live
in
here.
February, March area. That time.
Yeah,
comes out.
what do we call that? Phantom 2
Phantom
0.
20. Yeah, Phantom 2.0.
Yeah.
That's after your old Ranger unit.
Yes.
Right.
So, but the new system, then I imagine will make the lagering process a little less stressful for
So
you.
we currently the cooler space that we have next door
Mm-hmm.
is divided. So we have basically the actual cooler that we tap off of and store now, but then we have about a third of that whole thing is just a lager room.
Right.
So that's just dedicated at like 50 degrees.
Right.
And then all our fermenters are mobile, so we just wheeled them in there. Once with these jacketed fermenters, obviously, we'll be able to, zero that fermentation temperature in great and be able to eliminate the lager room completely and now have a lot more cooler space.
Right.
Plus the cooler that we built over here. So that'll be nice. That'd be really nice. Yeah.
It will definitely be easier, for sure.
Once you figure out how it all works.
Yes.
Right.
It's like more crushy,
One-
crushy,
one-
less
one
crushy,
step
crushy
there.
all over
Yeah,
again.
have to figure out.
More crushy.
More crushy, crushy.
But we do make a handful of lagers. It's just a pain in the butt right now.
Yeah, that's what I was, because you having such
We got the
a small
Helles. We got
Yeah.
Franken system. Yeah.
But then even doing like old beers like the Kolsch or like the Abrams, stuff like that.
Yeah.
They're fermented colder, so having to do that.
Yeah.
that'd be
We'll have a lot
nice.
more flexibility now. It's basically, right now, if you're fermenting at room temperature, it's whatever temperature it is next door.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which, we have heat, but we don't have air conditioning.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Sometimes in the summer. we have an
Saisons in the
issue.
summer.
Yeah.
Just
yeah.
all
Like,
farmhouse
yes,
sales.
this is a tropical IPA.
Yes.
It was fermented at 89 degrees.
Where do you guys come up with these ideas? Uh-huh. Yeah.
Just turned out that
So
way.
smart.
I mean, to be fair, that's how most beer styles develop, which is
Yeah.
necessity of the situation.
Yeah.
As a home brewer, though, for so long, I'm sure that you can adapt to that. I mean, that's the reality of brewing at home.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, and I think that's also kind of what adds to some of the uniqueness of the beers is the fact that it's maybe natural and not necessarily so regimented all the time. But
Yeah,
gives it
to
some
this
unique
day,
changes.
we don't use any extra chemicals. We don't kill the yeast. We don't use any
No filtering or
clarifiers. We don't filter anything. I mean,
You will?
well, that's
No.
cold crashing. That's
Yeah.
to knock the temperature down.
No filtering?
No
that's
filtering.
that's a plate chiller.
No filtering. I respect
Yeah.
that.
Hashtag no filter.
Yeah,
There you go.
you don't need it, honestly.
Just give it time. It'll be fine.
Every beer will filter if you let
Yeah.
it sit long enough.
That's right.
Can we drink beer now?
Yeah, we've talked a
I
lot
think
about
I think
it.
that's a good idea.
Let's sip some beers and continue chatting.
Okay.
I like that there are cans and a pitcher on the table. I like how this is playing out. So what are we starting with?
This is the Liberty Lager. It's one of our core beers. We've kind of referred to it as our gateway beer for non-craft beer drinkers to, say, craft beer drinkers. A lot of our light beer people tend to go with this as a
It's race car beer.
starting. But,
Race car
beer, yes.
Okay.
Everybody that comes in and says they want Bud Light, Miller Light, Coors Light, like Liberty Lager, that's the one for you.
We do have a long-standing tradition on the podcast of starting with lagers.
Yeah, and one of the other things, this is an American style lager, which if you ever look up the style, it'll tell you that it needs to be made with rice or corn. We go with corn, so you probably
We'll
notice
pick
the
out some
taste.
corn notes in there.
Yeah, it definitely has like that grainy, like
Right.
corn
And this
bready
is-
taste. Yeah.
It's definitely one of those beers that initially it'll be cloudy due to the fact that there's corn in it, and over
Right.
time you can see how it cleans up. And again, this is a non-filtered, lager.
Right.
Corny for sure.
I was wondering who was going to make the joke.
But
But
Nice.
It's delicious though.
It is really nice. I like it's got a really full flavor.
full flavor, but still easy drinking.
Yeah.
I mean, you're looking at like 4.1,
Yeah.
percent. So I mean, it could be your all day kind of drink.
really nice mouthfeel, too.
Yeah. Does actually very well with our local Veterans Legions, VFWs, stuff like that we sell to.
Oh yeah,
It's
yeah.
their replacement.
sometimes we have to not sell it to them because they go through it too quickly. And as a lager, and I mean, a lot of people will ask, what beer do you like the most on the board? And I'm always like, the Liberty Lager.
Yeah.
And most people, they're going to drink it. It's never going to knock your socks off. It's not a big wow factor beer, but as a brewer, you tend to, I think, appreciate more the beers that take more time and you can't mess it up, otherwise you would know right away.
Yeah.
Nothing hiding this. I mean,
Yeah. So they're not easy to make. You could take a stout and throw whatever the heck you want in there and
Chocolate,
carbonate
vanilla,
it, and there you go.
Cake.
And everybody like
Cereal.
birthday cake,
yeah.
Goat
fudge.
brains.
Goat brains, fried chicken.
Rap music.
Yeah.
So you mentioned selling this to other veterans, and Nick, you had said earlier about coming off active duty.
Yeah.
You guys are both veterans,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, one, thank you for your service.
Yeah,
Thank
appreciate
you.
that.
Thank you.
So what branch were you guys in?
I'm Army. I'm still active duty.
You are still active duty?
I am.
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's up at the Gap.
I work up at the Gap.
Fort Indiantown.
That's right.
I guess
Fort
that does make you
Indian.
active duty. Yeah. All right.
So it's a National Guard thing, but I'm what they call AGR, Active Guard and Reserve. So I work full time active duty for the National Guard.
Okay.
So it's a little bit different. I won't, I can't be sent anywhere other than the state of Pennsylvania. And then the unit that I work for is a National Guard unit. If they get deployed, then I get deployed. But ultimately, I work for the PA National Guard on an active duty status.
Very nice.
So there you go.
Cool.
Yeah.
And were you Army as well?
I was
Tim?
Air Force.
Air Force.
Air
okay.
Force. I only did 4 years.
Yeah.
Lifetime ago.
Yeah, I remember when Steph and I were first here, a lot of your beer names were military references, and there were a couple aircraft names
Yes.
to the beers. There was an IPA you guys had.
CH-47.
Yes.
It's one of our cores. I mean,
Yeah.
we have 4 core beers that we'll always have on tap, starting with the Liberty Lager, basically a spinoff of the Sons of Liberty, America's first military, if you will, and then the 82nd Amber Ale in honor of the 82nd Airborne, and the CH-47, which is actually the equipment number for a Chinook helicopter, which is also Chinook is a strain of hops. So
Right.
we use 100% Chinook hops in making that IPA. And then Fat Cow, which is actually the name of the coffee company that we use, which is also veteran-owned out of Lancaster County. And
That's an interesting story. We
Yeah.
did we used to do the Lancaster Brew Fest. Since they shut down that other half of the road, we haven't done Lancaster Brew Fest. But we met this guy at the Lancaster Beer Fest. He came over to me while I was working the tap room, and it's always very busy. You don't really have a whole lot of time to talk to people. But he came over and said, "Hey, are you guys thinking about doing a coffee stout?" And I was like, "No, but I have been thinking about a coffee porter," which I had. And he goes, "Well, who are you going to use? What coffee?" And I said, "Well, I'm thinking about reaching out to Black Rifle or Death Wish or one of those military-esque coffee companies." And he goes, "Well, I'm prior military and I own a coffee company right here in Lancaster." And he gave me his card, and that was it. And they were called Fat Cow, which they got the name. The CH-47, the Chinook helicopter, if you put internal fuel bladders in it, they refer to that in the business, I guess, as a fat cow.
Oh, okay.
So
Basically, to extend flight.
his coffee
Yeah.
name,
Right.
the name of his company is from a CH-47 helicopter, which is we have a beer named
yeah,
CH-47. So it was multiple connections.
And I like that Fat Cow, extra fuel, coffee, extra energy.
Yeah.
That's clever. It's
and
got
actually,
layers.
The Fat Cow has, we'll be drinking that later, but we actually use their cold brew on that. And so, I mean, it is a Baltic porter, so you're looking at like 7%, but then you're also getting that caffeine, as well. So,
Coffee and beer is such a great
beer.
Yeah,
It is.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
That's what I was drinking this morning.
Yeah.
Tim said,
That's
"What are you going to
breakfast.
have?" And I was like,
Yeah.
we have one breakfast beer." It's the Fat Cow.
False. They're all breakfast beers.
Well,
That's true.
Correct. The way she thinks. Yes. All right.
I don't want it to be empty.
Well, we still have
This
some more
lager is
here.
quite nice. They serve it right next door.
I know.
You can get more.
Yes. There is quite a bit of a beer list there that we're going to go through. So,
That's fair.
Challenge accepted.
Yeah.
all right, I like it.
I mean, not even close to the longest we've ever done, but a
What is the
respectable
longest
list.
we've ever done?
When we Dusty, the 3-hour
Yeah, it had to
bottle
be that
share
one.
session.
Longest episode ever.
The longest beer list at a brewery?
Levante, when they had the cart of beer.
Probably the Levante.
I was telling them about that.
Yeah.
The pallet of kegs.
Yeah, we drank a lot of Deer Creek, but that wasn't really a brewery. It was all just like crowlers and stuff that people brought. So
Yeah.
there you go.
Well, we could sample 15 different beers.
I have to drive. Fuck.
Oh, that's right. Steph is
Yeah.
driving today.
So do I, technically.
We might have to take a nap
You
in your
ever-
lazy boy first. Let's sober up. All right, so tell us about what you have in the cans here.
Nick?
Yeah, okay. So one of the things that we've been working on, and I still homebrew, oddly enough, at my house, working on a lot of recipes. So these ones are an IPA that I've been working on. That's as soon as this system is up and running, this is one of the beers that we're gonna push out. But what it is it's a grain bill. I basically just been working on a grain bill for an IPA. There's two different versions here. One's CTZ hops. This one is Galaxy hops. But ultimately, the grain bill is the same. I did use two different yeasts, and that's the idea. Is that we'll keep the grain bill. It's a New England style IPA, and we can swap out whatever hops. I mean, there's a ton of hops next door that we don't even use. I don't even remember buying. So the idea is all these extra things you can basically throw the kitchen sink in there and keep the grain bill and swap out whatever and try it out. So that's
They're
what we
both
have.
single hop?
Both single hop.
Well,
Yeah.
technically the CTZ is 3 hops.
Well,
Yeah, well, CTZ hops, but it's
Yeah.
Columbus. What do they call that? Columbus Tomahawk and Zeus. Yeah.
CTZ,
Zeus.
making it cool again.
Yeah.
I respect that.
The CTZ is actually I used a cryo hop on that one, so it's a little bit
Cryo hop.
a little stronger.
Do we have a clip of that?
I'm sure we do.
Cryo hopped.
There you
Is
go.
that Tim?
That is
That
Tim.
is
With
Tim.
Levante Tim. It didn't take that long till we got to the slide whistle. Oh my God.
Is that
Thank you.
Spencer? Or
was
is that Tim
Spencer.
making
No,
fun
that
of
was-
Spencer?
that was
No, that
Spencer.
was Spencer. He went to school for that, remember? He trained
My
in slide
God.
whistle.
That fucking episode. If you guys have not listened to our latest Levante episode, go back and listen.
I think that was yours. I don't
Was
remember.
it? No, I think that was yours.
All right. I mean, I'm not sick. Are you sick?
Well,
Nothing that's contagious.
Fair. Ooh, I can already smell it.
Ooh. I actually really like the aroma.
Bollocks.
Oh, there's another can.
Yeah,
there's
another can.
There's a
We
whole
got-
other can. You're fine.
There's
We
another
have
can.
so many cans.
all the cans.
I like that he said bullocks.
Are you using a mobile canning company? How are you canning?
No, this is actually our own little. What's
Did you make a can? Of course.
No,
You made a canning line.
Right.
Did you make a fucking can?
We
Well,
made our own. No,
wouldn't be the first brewery we've recorded with that made their own canning line.
No, we thought about doing that actually.
Yeah.
Tim had. I was doing a lot of research on what was it? Some like old ladies
Yeah, no, it was-
canning
they had
like
the-
for tomatoes.
Yes.
Thing that you had
Yes,
sent me. It was like a black and
wheel.
white video, and you're
Right,
like,
yeah.
we can convert this. And I was
We
like,
could.
what?
We
Come
just
on.
needed the different. I had friends that
Yeah,
mill that.
he
up
had it
for
all
me.
figured out. Anyway, October Designs. It's like a homebrew canning system that we
Oh,
built.
okay.
So yeah.
Do you guys sell cans?
We
At all?
have. So for a long time there, we were releasing a brand new beer every Wednesday. And by brand new, I mean it wasn't on the board the week prior.
Right.
It may not be a brand new beer. It had been on before, but a new beer every Wednesday or a new release anyway. And in order to do that, we would have to free up space on the board. And instead of just taking a half of a keg that was left and sticking it in the corner for it to die, we would can it all up and then sell those cans.
Okay.
We've kind of stopped doing that
Yeah.
now, and we just this week we may put 3 brand new beers on. As soon as something kicks, we put a new beer on.
Right.
Yeah, it's a single canner. So like literally, you purge the can, you sterilize the can, you fill the can, and then you seam the can. And
Wow.
you're literally labeling everything by hand.
Yeah.
So
And so
it takes a long.
I was
going to
say, what's
do
like the
that.
per can time on that? Like a minute or two?
Well,
at
I
least?
mean, it's kind of I don't know if you break it down that way because I mean, ideally, if you knew how many cans you would fill, then you would write that many labels up, and you'd label all the cans.
Oh, so
clean
you
them,
can sort of do
sterilize
it
them.
at like assembly line style. You don't have to
Yeah,
go
yeah.
one can from beginning to end and then another can from beginning to end.
Well,
Right.
yeah. I mean, once
The
you
more
fill it,
people
then
you
hand
have,
them over and-
the quicker it'll go
Right,
too. If
right,
you've got
right.
one guy filling cans and another guy seaming cans,
Okay.
that goes much quicker. as
Right,
well.
right.
Trying to do it yourself, I mean, it takes me 5 minutes to do a 6-pack, 4-pack, 6-pack, something like that.
Yeah, which is ridiculous when you're
Yeah.
trying to do an entire keg.
yeah. Yeah. Do you guys have a crowler machine?
We do not. We went the Howler way, and it didn't seem necessary to have 2 32-ounce options, I guess.
Yeah, I mean with that canner though that we have, we'll be able to actually have that behind the bar, and you could literally get yourself a 16.
You could just buy a 16-ounce can.
You know,
just
and then we
smaller.
just- yeah. I
That's
mean, as
the idea.
opposed to a 32-ounce, which I mean, I don't think anybody at this table has a problem opening a 32-ounce can and finishing.
No,
But
I mean,
you
depending
know,
on what
I
it
mean,
is, but
if you wanted a
probably not.
16-ounce and you wanted 16-ounce to share with somebody, whatever, you can do that.
Right.
You know, but again, then we would have the Howler option, which is
Yeah.
just a matter of
Yeah.
You can seal it back up again, I guess.
I guess it is. I never really thought about it, but it's super inconvenient that like Crowlers are cans just wider. Otherwise, you could just keep making cans taller, and the seam stays the same, and you could just use the same machine.
I don't know if I want a can that's twice as tall as that.
It would be kind of ridiculous.
I think Pabst makes something.
But
like
if
that.
you just standardize it, that like, yeah,
Are they the
probably.
ones that make the case of 99
yep.
cans?
Oh,
I
yes.
kind of want that.
Genius.
It is genius.
If we could like get a happy
want it
medium, make these shorter and wider, then you could just have one seaming radius for every can in existence.
Well, that would have worked out nicely because that was basically the size of the mason lid that the lady was, the one that I was.
Yeah, I
looking
think
to
that was
buy.
the big problem to your can.
You couldn't find the cans to fit that.
It was like they don't make cans that fit this.
So let's talk about the beer we're drinking. We got a
Right,
bit of a
right.
tangent
I
there.
forgot how floral CTZ
Yeah, I was
is.
going to say there's a very,
It's
very,
very,
very
like,
heavy floral
tea.
note
Yeah, a
that
little
I
bit.
like.
It's like drinking an herbal tea.
Yeah,
And then you get that like thick, juicy fruit flavor at the end that's like lingering in my mouth.
a lot of that fruitiness you get from the yeast too.
Yeah.
You'll find
What you said you used what yeast did you use?
that one. This one that we're drinking now is Imperial's dry hop, I believe.
It's not on the can.
No, Imperial.
No.
No, it just says CTZ.
Yeah.
I have it in my phone. But yeah, I'm pretty sure that's the Imperial dry hop, which Imperial is like a liquid yeast. It's a newer strain. It's not White Labs. The nice thing about them is they have 200 billion cells per pack, opposed to the 100 billion cells that everybody else is selling.
Right.
So it's almost impossible to underpitch that yeast. But this was the dry hop, and this one with the Galaxy is the juice. Same company, Imperial yeast. But their stuff's all been pretty solid since I've used them.
Yeah.
I
haven't
don't
had any
hate
issues.
it. So
Yeah, that's always a good thing.
Yeah, I mean that is actually our target. Is to just don't piss
not-
people
well, I'm
off.
also
Yeah.
really happy there's no fucking lactose in it. So
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, not that
You
we
got
haven't
points
done
there.
some of those, but
and I can
not this one.
it's translucent. It's
It's
not
not
opaque.
completely opaque. It doesn't look like orange juice,
No.
which is
And
nice.
I'm not getting any black pepper.
I'm not getting any black pepper at all, which is nice.
Do you normally get
We're
black pepper?
such assholes.
I know. No, I always complain about how so many New England IPAs taste like orange juice mixed with black pepper, which is not a good combination.
Yeah.
I mean, black pepper can be good in a beer on its own. Orange juice flavor can be good in a beer on its own, but the two together.
Yeah. Tim here hates black pepper.
Oh, I'm a big fan of black pepper.
No.
Yeah.
We actually, and I think we talked about them earlier, Moo Duck, we were over at their place, and they had, what was that, some kind of Belgian beer they had done, and they ran it through black pepper. And I loved it.
You loved it. Yeah, I'm not much for black pepper. I don't know. That's
It was like a Belgian something through black pepper, and he was like, ugh.
Seriously?
And I was like,
Sounds like
yeah,
that'd
it's
be
like-
pretty good.
yeah, it was great. I thought it was great.
well, pepper in general. I'm not.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, we're very much old curmudgeons, and we complain about the kids and all their New England IPAs these days. But as we said before, like I don't hate every single one. I really like some of them.
Well,
It's just like a craze that gets annoying.
Well, I'll be honest. I mean, we've always kind of tended to lean more towards traditional.
Yeah.
And we have a lot of different beers on, and our goal, I think, is to make sure that we have something for everybody when they come in.
Yeah.
And when we get to these newer styles of things, yes, maybe the traditionalist inside of me is kind of like, really, we're trying to make a beer cloudy now.
Yeah.
I thought
Yeah.
the whole thing was supposed to be clear.
Yeah, forever. That was like that was the sign that you did it wrong.
Right.
I was like, why is it cloudy? Unless it was a Hefeweizen,
Yeah.
Like
Right.
in the home brewing, it was, everything needed to be clear.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, to survive, in business, you have to kind of give your customers what they want, and that's a constantly changing, thing. So, we experiment and offer up different things, but we still always have our traditional backbone.
Yeah.
And
it's something we've heard. I mean, we've obviously talked about this every episode of the podcast for the past 2 years or whatever. But I feel like in Pennsylvania, especially as you get to like into central Pennsylvania, you have to have an IPA on. You probably should have a hazy IPA, but people will buy the other beers. Like people will come here and drink a lager. People will drink a porter. People will drink because there's a lot of deep history, particularly German history, in this area, and I think that comes with an appreciation for traditional beer.
Yeah.
Well, and there's a lot of beer styles that started here or were brought here. Like the first Baltic Porter in the States was brewed in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Like I mean, the first lager brewed in the United States was in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
So I agree with that. I am fine with hazy IPAs as long as they don't inundate the tap list. And I know I've said this before, but as long as I can go and still get the fucking beers that I want to drink. But I have a problem with when I go to a brewery and it's all IPAs.
Yeah. We try and keep a little bit of everything.
Yeah. Although I do think, though, to counter that point, I don't think there's anything wrong with opening a brewery that like just does one. I mean, it's kind of maybe not the best business model.
Well, it's okay as long as it's lagers.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like if you're like a Jack's Abbey,
or
where that's like what you do.
Beer Stout Lager House.
Yeah, or a place that just
But some
does,
place like Dancing Gnome that does 12 fucking hazy IPAs and then one stout, like what's the point?
What's the point of having the stout?
Yeah.
No, the stout is what I will drink.
I
I'm
know,
glad
but I'm
they have
saying
a
you
stout.
might as well
but
just
what's
go
the
all
point of
in.
having 12 different hazy IPAs? Like,
Okay,
Well,
boomer.
But the fact is that there's a lot of people that are going to go
Stop.
there because that's what they make,
Yeah,
I mean, that's the way the market is right
Yeah.
now. And the same thing with sour beers, too. Right down the road from Dancing Gnome is a place that used to be called Dry Log. Now they're Strange Roots.
Yeah, what
All
I
sours,
didn't know they
pretty
changed-
much.
really?
they
They
changed
did, yeah.
a while ago.
I didn't know that.
Not as good as
Pretty
theirs.
much everything they make is sour.
Yeah.
But if you like sour beers, they're great. But, same thing. Some people hate sour beers.
Yeah. I'm excited to taste the next
I guess
one.
someone's probably shouting, well, then don't go there.
Yeah, that's true. I mean,
Yeah.
that is true.
Yeah, at least you know what you're going to get,
Yeah.
I'm excited to try this before I forget what the other one tasted like. Because I really want to compare them.
I still have that bubblegum taste in my mouth.
Yeah, that was that Cryo CTZ. It's a little...
It definitely is pronounced.
Yeah.
It wasn't like offensively.
Oh, look at that. Oh, you didn't
No.
get yours.
I
You
always
failed
had that
again.
You just got
failed.
to drink the whole other
And that
can.
was a bigger can.
I thought you did it perfectly.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
He was a gentleman and served himself
Oh.
last.
Then he just got himself wet.
It's a brewery.
It's not the first time.
They have drains now.
Yeah, we have drinks. Yeah.
You can just stand
Still
in the
super
middle of the
excited
room
about
and
that.
you can
Just
hose
wait till
them
the
off.
first time you
I
hose the
know.
floor. You're going to be dancing.
Well, I can't wait to just even have a hose laying across the floor going somewhere.
Yeah.
That's going to be awesome.
These are things we've dreamt about. Floor drains.
Yeah.
But it would be great. Floor drains.
That would be great.
I
Yeah,
feel
so
like
you can
they're a
tell this one is
necessity.
not as
Absolutely.
It's not as pronounced.
overbearing.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was
Yeah.
no cryo hops in this one. This
No,
was
this is
just
all
straight
Galaxy.
Straight Galaxy.
Yeah.
Now, it might be because I got the bottom of the can, but this one does seem hazier.
You did get the
Yeah.
bottom.
Yeah,
Well,
that's
I don't
probably
know.
why. Looking
got the
around,
top of the can.
I think they're all a little slightly more opaque.
You got the Snickle Fritz.
But I definitely
Yes.
got the Snickle Fritz.
Snickle Fritz.
That's a good beer.
Hashtag Snickle Fritz.
It's a little more earthy.
Yeah.
More citrus, too.
Yeah.
That's the guy.
I like it. I do like the other one better. I feel like the
Really?
other one. I feel like this one tastes more like a lot of the other. Like the other one, I feel like stands out in the
Well,
style.
Galaxy is like the hop to use right now,
Yeah.
and especially in your New England styles.
No, Mosaic needs to come back. I like the start of the other one, and I like the finish of this one.
Yeah.
I don't like that. I didn't like the
The other one
juicy
did
fruit linger.
finish really sweet,
You know, I don't like when my beers linger.
Yeah, that's true. I can see that.
Yeah, this one definitely doesn't stick around as long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's why I like this one better overall. I
it's a
mean,
little
it's a
cleaner.
little more subdued flavorly. It's a little more earthy.
Mm-hmm.
And I like the way it finishes.
What are the numbers on this one, Nick?
I don't know off the top of my head.
Speaking of numbers, how nervous are you about adjusting your recipes to
Ooh.
go into the big guy?
I think I've already, well, I have no idea, honestly, but I already dialed in the system as best as I can, think ahead to get the recipes to be able to adjust. You have a lot of things. It's not as simple as I'm
Times
gonna-
10.
Right.
Exactly,
You know
yeah.
what I mean? So,
Yeah. Just
but
gotta
I've
heat-
already,
just
we
gotta
use
heat
a
stuff up and
program.
cool stuff down.
We're like
Add
big,
yeast to make beer.
big
I don't
fans
know.
of
Not quite how it works, but okay.
Yeah.
big fans of Beersmith. We use Beersmith pretty much
Yeah.
all the time, and I've already built a new equipment model in there so we can scale everything up. Unfortunately, Beersmith doesn't already have 10-barrel equipment profiles in there, but
You make your own.
yeah. So I had to basically make my own, which we can adjust on the fly, and that's that'll be a big process in the first week of brewing beer and trying to figure out where our efficiencies are and hop utilization, and yeah, there's a lot of different things that we have to figure out.
What is your efficiency right now on the one barrel?
crap?
No, I'm really curious. Do you know?
I would probably say 65,
Oh, wow.
maybe.
Yeah,
Something
it's
like
pretty
that.
bad.
Yeah.
But in our defense, it is not.
It's double digits.
There's no judgment here. I was just curious.
It's better than half.
Like I said
That's
earlier,
true.
this system was not designed to make beer. This system is designed to make stew, or soup. So we've,
Oh my god.
we don't have a false bottom. We're using bazooka screens.
yeah.
Like it's
That's
literally
fabulous.
like the bottom of the barrel that you can get in a brewing system. Everything is basic as possible. And the problem also is that our mash tun is tall and skinny, so that the efficiency is already shot from there. I think the shorter and squattier it is, the better.
Yeah, especially when we get those big grain bills. It goes
Yeah,
way down.
the higher the grain bill goes, the lower our efficiency gets. And I think that may be consistent anyway,
Yeah,
but ours
yeah.
really takes a nosedive.
Especially when I'm trying to make an 11% wee heavy.
I'm
and it's
shooting for
like-
11%, and I got 6. So
Score.
yeah. Where were we? Okay, Galaxy. This is 6.4.
Anybody?
Yeah, I'll have a little more.
Open can.
I mean, it's there.
6.4%.
All right.
So it's not a double. I intended it to just be a regular IPA, not a double or a whatever, imperial, whatever they call them these days.
Whatever they're calling them these
I think you
days.
can
Well,
call
that
it
always
anything
changes.
you want to call
Yeah,
it,
you can-
honestly. If
Well,
you
you
want to
go
call
in-
it a 6.5 double IPA, I think you can do that. I don't
call it
I don't
whatever you
really,
want.
Yeah.
I feel like there's really no
We go on
regulation
with
on it.
Beer Advocate, and I don't know if Untapped is like this too. It'll just say like double/imperial. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Well,
I think
hazy is its own thing.
No, but I mean when you're talking about like the
The terminology
The
for
final
a high
form.
alcohol IPA.
Yeah.
The final.
Or like, I imagine you could have a
final
hazy
form.
at all levels, but then like a hazy just regular, or is hazy
Well, they
always
add.
considered double?
Didn't they add 3 different hazy categories when they redid the guidelines?
oh I don't know. I mean
The
I've
3 of
seen
them?
things labeled hazy.
I haven't
I
seen
didn't know
those.
your beer about it, but I
are
don't
those
remember.
2018 guidelines? I haven't seen them yet.
Yeah.
I heard that they added
Because
it though.
last
did.
year was the first year because they had a fuck ton of entries, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're still working off the old stuff. I think we're
Like 5 years
What about
behind.
2015?
Well, I think I told
Yeah.
Steph before. I was like, "Yeah, we don't really update the Untapped stuff either." So like, we kind of let people just do that on their own, you know. I'm like,
Should I add these?
nah, I wouldn't add these. I don't even know the numbers
Yeah.
on these.
We'd be totally cool if we're the only ones that ever checked it
This is
in.
true.
Yeah.
If you just put it under,
What's the ABV? I wasn't listening.
6.5 on the Galaxy.
Yeah, the other one
Should be similar.
I would imagine not much different.
Yeah, if it's the same grain bill.
If you
Well,
do,
different
if
yeast,
you
though.
do enter
Different
it
yeast,
though,
though,
just make it the Beer Busters CTZ whatever. Or,
Can I really?
Sure, why not?
Fuck
'Cause, I mean, the next time it's being
It wouldn't
made,
be
it's
the
going to be on a big system, which will probably be a little bit different flavor anyway.
Yeah,
so
there you go.
Yeah.
All right, I'm doing it.
That one came out to 7.
7. There you go.
Yep.
And
We have IBUs?
hazy. What do you? I mean, I can put IBUs. I don't have to.
Well,
Try hazy IPA.
the first one I called CTZ hash, and the second one,
CTZ.
yeah, it was like
Beer
Use the
Busters.
hash
it,
hops.
it was hop hash, cryo hop hash. It's like a concentrated version of hops.
I've never heard of hop hash.
Oh,
Cryo
yeah.
hops, yeah.
Yeah, we did a
Hop
hash IPA. That was pretty.
Oh
good.
yes. Well, that's where
Do you want me to
that's where that came from.
Put
Yeah.
that they're hazy IPAs.
Yeah, it's a New England style.
Okay.
I mean, I think
on it.
I put a
I'm gonna create them as me, and then I'll try
very
to
little
Beer
amount of
Busters.
hops in the beginning, and then I don't touch it again until Whirlpool.
Yeah.
So we have a pitcher that was brought in,
Yes.
and it's full of delicious looking beverage.
Yes,
It's
this
empty
is
now.
The,
Well, yeah, the pitcher's empty, but
yeah, the Rheems Rausch. So this is a traditional German style smoked lager, and we literally make this every year at this time of year, just because our neighbors are a deer processing plant, and this stuff makes you want to eat meat. At least that's the way it does for
This
me.
is how a
Hey, Steph, does
vegetarian
it?
gets her
Yes.
meat.
Yes, but
Meat.
yeah, we'll
No, it makes me want to drink more Rausch beer.
Yeah, we'll do a Deers for Beers competition where we partner with bears, and they basically tell us who the biggest buck was, and they win a whole bunch of brewery stuff, just because that's who's right next door to us. For
So
now, granted, by the time this is
neighbors.
aired, that'll be over. So
the deer place is called
Yeah.
Bears.
Bears
Yes.
Deer Processing is what it's called.
Yeah, you know what's funny about that
Confusing.
too is people would ask like, "Where is your brewery?" I have a hard time finding it, and we'd say we're next to Bears Deer Processing. And now, from time to time, I've heard people say like, "Where's Bear's Deer Processing?"
Deer's Bear Processing?
They're right next to the brewery. Oh, I know where that
that's
is.
awesome.
So you are now the
you're
landmark.
the landmark.
Yeah.
Well,
made it.
I'm not sure if
Made
we
it.
are officially, but
You know.
Yes.
I've heard it though. You know, it's like
Also,
that first time you see.
it's in Rheems, regardless of what anyone tells you.
It is, yes.
And this is the village of Rheems, just to be clear, not the Rheems town.
Right.
I just wanted to be.
Yes,
We're the
There's
village
been
of,
confusion with that as well.
not the town.
Wow.
Sorry. It's Union Barrels in Rheems town. So.
Yeah,
Confuse
yes.
the
Okay.
two.
All right.
That's
Yes.
like between Denver and Adamstown.
It's somewhere up there,
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're between Elizabethtown and Mountjoy. Yeah.
Pennsylvania.
In case you're
South
wondering.
Central. South Central Pennsylvania.
South Central Pennsylvania.
Oh my God.
All right.
So you guys are going to be expanding your footprint beyond here, though, and opening a second location.
We are, yes. We're moving the tap room from where we are currently, next to Bear Deer Processing,
In Rheems,
Pennsylvania.
the
yes,
village of. Yes.
to a new, well, it's a new-ish building over in the other side of Elizabethtown, Pizza Town, next to Pizza Town,
Pizza Town.
where Legacies, what was it? called?
Sports
Legacies?
bar used to be
Yeah.
that. Yes.
Yes.
It'll be now our Cox Brewing Company Rally Point tap room.
Right off of 283.
It's directly off of 283 Hershey E-Town exit. Just head towards
Hershey
E-Town.
Town.
Hershey
Hershey
E-Town exit.
E-Town,
Did I
yeah.
slur? I might have.
Hershey
I have it
Town.
down.
Hershey
Town.
Yeah, because there's like a Hershey Elizabethtown exit, and then there's a Rheems Elizabethtown exit.
Again with the Rheems.
So you can get here from Rheems E-Town. You get to the new place from Hershey E-Town.
Yeah. It's actually-
Elizabethtown, for those people that are not
Yes.
from here. E-Town is Elizabethtown.
That's what she
E-Town
was getting at,
is
yeah.
Elizabethtown in Pennsylvania.
In Pennsylvania.
Yeah, so 743.
Wait, so you said moving. So is the tap room not going to be here anymore?
Well, we are going to keep this tap room open just one day a week for our locals that are upset that we're moving.
Aw, that's
so
nice.
we're going to continue to do that until it doesn't make sense anymore. Or maybe I don't know. Maybe Tuesdays will be like the greatest night that we're open. I have no idea. But we'll be open one day a week here, and then the rest of the time. So we're not going to compete with one another across town.
So this will
Legacies.
basically become production space.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you won't have any system there at
It's
all?
production space now.
Well, yeah, I mean,
we
yeah.
just
Yeah.
But so this is going to be your production brewery, and that's going to be your
Yes.
tap room. Yeah.
Tap room
Yeah.
exclusively.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, cool.
Yeah, which is great. And there's a lot of changes that have happened with like the liquor code in Pennsylvania, and that's one of those things. You know, we can open up to 2 locations on our liquor license.
Right, yeah.
So it's not even a big deal to do that.
Are you going to have food there? Is it gonna be
The
just
food,
beer?
we're not going to do the food, but Pizza Town is going
you
to
s-
provide
yes,
food.
yes.
So they're right next door. You can either walk over there and order and then come back. You can buy beer from us and take it over there and sit
that's
and
cool.
eat. Or you can go on your phone and order it, just like delivery to your house, but instead
They
of
just
your house,
walk it next door.
deliver it to Cox Brewing Company, and they will walk it over to
I was
your
going to jokingly ask if you could do that, but you sound very serious.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Totally. I
Oh,
mean, why
100%.
wouldn't you? And I mean, you should just put like a
If
window.
you don't want to communicate with human beings.
like
Yeah,
knock
we're-
out part of the wall, and then you just pass the food and the beer
Yeah,
back and
so
forth.
there's a lot of
There's
weird,
a lot of laws about that.
legality.
Typically,
If
the bathrooms are like on the one wall, so unless you're bringing your food into the bathroom and
Oh,
then
yeah,
passing
you
it
don't wanna
through,
do
it probably wouldn't
that.
work.
Yeah.
But,
the state doesn't want
yeah,
anybody
no,
to be
just
able to get
take it through
into
the door.
our space.
from their space.
Right. Yeah. So
What if it's a door that you don't let the public use?
I think that's what they don't want.
It's a
If it's
secret
a door that the public does use, then that's okay because obviously we're going to share doors. There's a main way in, and then
And
like
then it
you
splits-
turn
oh, I
left
see.
to their
Okay.
place, you
Okay.
turn right to ours.
That's not what I was picturing.
So they're just going to
Okay.
walk right in that way.
Right.
The thing is, it has to be separated. So basically, it's not Pizza Town getting a liquor license. It's Cox Brewing Company operating on this side, Pizza Town, who does not have a liquor license,
Right.
operating on their side, and they're completely separated.
But you can take the beer into Pizza Town.
No, probably not.
You can,
you
as
said
long as
that,
it's
yeah.
sealed.
Yeah, so like a
So
can
just like
or-
taking
So they
a
have a-
growler or a can.
Do they have a BYOB
So they have
license?
BYOB?
Yes.
Yeah, but I don't think you need a license for that. I don't know how that works.
Actually, I
but-
don't. I think I don't think you technically need a
You
liquor
need
license. You need something,
something.
But that's why a lot of places do that because it's super, like, a lot easier to do.
A lot easier.
Well, I know he
Super
sold
aligned.
his liquor license, and now he's BYO. So I don't know. If that
Okay.
means he's
If he
purchased
wasn't
something
BYO, you
in
would not be able
addition.
to
Yeah.
take your beer in
Right.
there.
Maybe
Yeah.
you just have to be like, I will make sure that there's no underage drinking here. I
Well, he's
promise.
definitely under. He
It's
definitely
like it's a
does
pinky
that.
swear.
God's honor.
You just have to
Pinky swear.
swear.
Here's your BYOB permit.
I'm not sure how they figured that part out with the BYOB, but
Yeah.
for us, as soon as you walk out the door, even to go to the bathrooms, you're off the licensed premises. So if it's in an open container, you can't carry it out.
Or into the bathroom.
Right. Technically, you're not going to be
You
able
can't
to
even
bring a
take it
beer
into
into
the
the bathroom.
No.
Sorry. You can fill a growler and take that with you into the bathroom.
as long as it stays
because
closed.
It's sealed. Yes. You can open it once you're in the bathroom, but don't open it
Technically,
before
yes.
you.
Don't act like I won't.
But unfortunately, we'll not be able to bring that back into the brewery.
Yeah,
Because then it's been opened.
Yeah.
It's already been opened.
Just sit it out there and leave it in the bathroom.
So many rules.
So many
But it's a growler. I mean, a growler's never really sealed.
Yeah, I was thinking that. Yeah.
It's just full or not.
Some
You-
people
it's
put
just-
electrical tape
The
around.
cap is.
I guess,
screwed.
yes.
Yeah.
I know,
Yeah, it's
tighten it
capped.
pretty
I mean,
hard.
I think that's the.
Yeah.
As soon as you,
But it's loosely capped.
It's open.
Loosely capped. I'm writing that
Complain
down.
about how he tightened
It is.
them too
That
tight.
might be my last call answer. Don't take it. I'm serious.
No, it's a good one.
Don't
it's a
take
good
it.
one. It's a very good one.
But one of the things that I think we will be able to do in our space, and a lot of people I think complained about this at Legacies, was that they couldn't get Pizza Town food at the bar.
Yeah.
They had they had a separate menu,
Right.
and now there's no separate menu.
No.
It's just their menu.
The menu.
And one of the things that I'm hoping that they do, and I don't know how you do this, but on whatever their internet ordering platform is, they should just have a drop down instead of like delivery at my house, pickup, or Cox
Cox
Brewing.
Just a
Brewing.
tap room.
Yeah.
I feel like that should be possible.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's totally
doable.
It's gotta be.
It's
gotta
gotta
be.
be.
Yeah.
So they just pick
option, but-
Cox Brewing Company, and they'll walk to the door and be like, "This is for so and so."
Yeah.
Yeah, the
That's cool.
logistics of how that's
And
all
we'll
going to
take it
work,
from
we'll
there.
figure that out after we open. But,
Do you have an estimated time when that location will be open?
So, based on the fact that this probably isn't going to be aired for a few weeks, I would say a couple months is.
So
a
early
safe bet.
2020.
Yeah,
That's the hopes. Yeah, I
Right.
mean, the big
Yeah.
the big thing is getting this beer system up and running. If we were to open right now with the amount of beer that we make next door, we'd be open for probably a day,
Yeah.
and then we'd be out of beer.
Right.
So the big issue is getting this thing up and running, make more beer, have more volume, and then we can open over there.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of construction that has to happen up there as well. So, I mean, we're basically rebuilding the entire inside of that place. So, the layout, the footprint, everything is changing.
You might want to put a drain in
So,
just to have a drain.
Oh, they have them.
I don't think we do.
There's drains.
Nah, that's not where we need them.
I know they're not in the right. they're not
good
They're
drinks.
never in the right place.
They're not good drinks.
They're not in the right place, but they're drains.
There's one underneath the stage.
There's a stage.
Your stage.
We're going to probably put like a little mezzanine stage area.
Some music.
for-
Music, yeah.
Yeah, entertainment, however, whatever.
We don't have room for that here. So again, these are drains.
These are all
we've
things
got
that we've
drains
been-
in the floor. We're gonna.
They're
have
not
a
opening
stage.
until 2021.
Yeah, yeah. I like that. I like that. You know, entertainment, whatever.
If we don't open by 2021, we probably close already.
Fair,
yeah.
fair.
Speaking of entertainment,
Speaking of
Yeah,
entertainment,
now that we have this delicious beer to sip on.
oh, does that mean we're doing a thing
I
now?
think it means we're doing a thing. We're doing this thing. The thing with the happy and the fun and the time.
Cheers, Internet, and welcome to Happy Fun Time Games, a podcast trivia segment that was designed to make stew.
wow.
So, we all know that Untapped can be a seedy wasteland of unearned narcissism among the smoldering rubble of sacked and pillaged dreams. But it's mostly just photos and bottle caps interspersed with blithe and thoughtless remarks, seldom longer than the average tweet. A great way to lose all of your faith in the beer drinking masses is to peruse the much more verbose reviews on sites like beeradvocate.com,
Fabulous.
where there is no shortage of self-important snobs heaping mounds of pretentious nonsense into the digital ether. However, amidst all the overblown bloviating are sprinkled some truly amazing gems, snippets of folk poetry that describe drinkers' acute displeasure in terms so violently eloquent one must marvel at their visceral beauty, and make silly podcast games about them. We are playing bad beer reviews, Hazy Edition.
Oh, God.
After all of that. So this is a game, and it's fill in the blank. I'm going to give you an excerpt of a beer review from beeradvocate.com, and I've taken out a certain word or phrase, and you must guess from 2 multiple choice options what the removed word or phrase is.
Like ad-libs.
Yes.
Multiple choice.
Yes. And I will also give you a little brief, the commercial sort of description of the beer ahead of time, so you kind of have an idea of where what this person was drinking when they said this thing. Yes. But don't forget, there's no prize for winning Happy Fun Time games, but there is a punishment for losing. Today's punishment is going to be a bit of a doozy. I think maybe we'll save it till the end, and I'll tell you what the punishment's going to be. Everyone at the table already knows, because this is a punishment so out there that I had to get everyone's permission ahead of time that they would be okay with doing it. So if you want to find out, you're going to find out.
I just want to say we put worse things in our mouths.
This is fair.
On
this
the
is
show.
fair. It was just a little weird. So
Goat brain beer, vagina beer.
We
We
have
put
done
worse
that.
things in our mouths.
I didn't have the vagina
You
beer.
did not have the vagina
I was
beer.
not there that day.
I
You were
had the
not.
vagina beer.
It actually
Horse
wasn't that
brain
bad.
What?
Goat brains.
Oh,
goat
goat?
brains.
All I know is he was mouthing something to you, and then he went Cox. That's all I got out of that.
I'm
Anyway.
not sure what it was trying to say.
There's going to be a punishment. I'll tell you what it is at the end of the game. In order to watch it happen, you have to be a patron on Patreon, so check that out. Anyway, so long story short, we're going to start to my left with Dan. And our first beer is Hazy Border from the Porterhouse Brewing Company. This is a New England IPA that uses the finest Maris Otter, oats, dextrin, and wheat, as you do. Fruity bitterness from Aurora hops is complemented with Amarillo, Citra, and Simcoe to give just the right tropical aromatic fruitiness. The yeast strain delivers a subtle stone fruit character. All of this combines to deliver a juicy, hoppy, unfiltered beer with a bouquet. Our reviewer did not agree. He said the following: the smell is okay, but the taste is fruity blank.
Oh, no.
Is it dishwasher fluid
Oh.
or hot dog water?
Oh, God. Dishwasher.
Dan is saying dishwasher fluid. Nick, what do you think?
Well, I was thinking the same thing, but is it lame of me to choose the same thing?
I mean, there's only 2 options, and there's 4 of you. So
Is everybody going to choose this, or
Well, if all 3 of you do, I'm totally saying the same thing.
all right? Well,
I've
then
done
I guess
this
I'll
before.
do the opposite. I guess hot dog.
Oh.
I was gonna go hot dog from the get go.
hot dog from
All
the
about
get-go?
it, yeah.
All right, hot dog from the get-go. So we've got 1 dishwasher fluid, 2 hot dog waters. Steph?
I will say hot dog water.
Steph is saying hot dog water. Dan is the only one who's correct.
Oh, thank God.
It was dishwasher
Dan
fluid.
is always correct.
The reviewer goes on to say that it is vile in taste and it sticks to the palate. Yuck.
But it was supposed to be like floral, right?
Yes, a bouquet.
Right. Hot dog
Well,
water's
bouquet's
not
the fancy way of
floral.
saying
Dishwasher soap can be.
Yeah,
I mean, hot dog
that's-
water could be
that was
floral. Well-
my reasoning, but I just went opposites.
Although most hot dog water that I've encountered leans a little more towards the earthy side of things.
Yeah,
I prefer my hot dog
Salty.
water with
Salty.
chocolate starfish.
Oh, God. Moving on quickly to the next beer of the game. Nick, you're going to guess first on this one. Our next beer is simply called Hazy IPA from North Sound Brewing Company. They describe it as follows. Starts with a fruity nose and transitions to a dry, peppery hop finish. There you go. Dry hopped with Simcoe hops. Okay. Big and tasty! Exclamation point. Our reviewer was not a fan. He said it had flavor of green pepper and green beans with blank. Was it notes of moldy Red Bull or a touch of pork?
What the fuck is moldy Red Bull?
What the
ooh, I'm going to
What
go
was
with
the second one?
A touch of pork.
A touch of pork.
a touch of pork.
A
I
touch
thought you
of
said
pork.
cork for a second.
Pork.
Oh man, see now you threw me off. Cork was my answer. Now it's pork all of a sudden.
It's pork or Red Bull.
What the fuck is moldy Red Bull?
Moldy. All right. Well,
that's
that's
moldy.
ridiculous. So I'm going to go with moldy Red Bull.
All right, going with moldy Red Bull.
I second that motion.
No,
All right,
no,
I'm also going
I'm
with
saying
Red Bull.
pork.
Oh, Steph saying pork. We got Red Bull. We got Red Bull. We got pork. Dan.
I'm going to go with a touch of pork because that is the title of my memoir.
A
pork,
touch?
sometimes-
A touch?
Sometimes
touch
it's
of pork.
peppery.
It's just a very strong touch.
Nick and Tim were wrong. It is
Oh.
a touch of pork. Yes.
We're batting for 0 over here.
You guys
I
are.
must say, if you're the one coming up with these other options, doing a great job there.
I am the one coming up with the other options. Thank you very much. The reviewer goes on to say, they call this a hazy IPA, but it's not very hazy. I mean, lucky you. Trying to get a whiff, it smells of unripe melon and old fruit. and I think of the smell of underbrush in the woods. So there you go. That's how he described it. Moving on to our next beer
How
of the game.
fucking pretentious are these people that they think they can type these things and put them on the internet?
You know what? These are the funny reviews I came across. You should read the ones of people who are trying to actually be serious.
Oh no!
That's why I said if you want to lose, you probably weren't paying attention to the intro because it was very wordy. If you want to lose all faith in the beer drinking public, read these reviews.
We already have.
Yeah,
Just saying
pretty much.
The Mountain Dew one would have made it even better, though.
That's fair. Probably true. Probably true. Moving on, Tim, you're going to guess first on this one. Our next beer is called Tears of Green. It comes from Captain Lawrence Brewing Company. They describe it as follows: a big, all caps, flavored IPA with silky, smooth tropical notes. Dry hopped with Matueka and Citra hops, giving it a big, piney, and citrusy finish, again with the exclamation point. Oh yeah, do the do. Our reviewer had this to say: if this is a New England IPA, I'm going to blank. Is it piss on a random toad and name him Percival? The fuck? Or start farting in a cup and selling it?
Oh my god.
Toad or
B.
fart? Going with B. Going with the fart. Steph, what do you think?
So my gut was to say whatever you didn't say because you're bad. You're 0 for 0. You're 0 for 2. But I feel like that first one is very you. I'm gonna go with the farts.
Gonna go with the farts. All right, Steph saying farts.
I
Dan?
might regret
That
this.
was my thought too. Is the first one sounds like you?
It's
So
very Wayne.
Oh, everybody's saying farts.
farts have it.
I'm going with farts too.
Everybody's saying farts. Everybody is correct. It is, in fact, the farts. This guy was really upset. I'm going to read some more of his review. There's a little bit, goes on a little bit, but it's great. He says, this is just shit beer. Did anyone at the brewery taste this when it was made? Are you just cashing in on the consumer? This tastes more like Hoegaarden than an IPA. It tastes like contaminated beer. Shame on you for charging people $18 for 4 cans of this yeasty tasting crap. I'm boycotting this series, and I'm not ordering or selling it in my store. Out of principle. This guy owns a store, ladies and gentlemen. You owe consumers a fucking apology.
Wow.
Yeah.
Maybe he just works at a store and has like the buyer ability.
That's probably true, actually. Yeah, that's probably true. Moving on to our next beer of the game. Steph is going to guess first on this one. Our next one is Shamrock Shakedown from Platform Beer Company.
Oh. Can we have a moment of silence?
Yeah, we should. They describe it as follows. It is a milkshake IPA brewed with fresh lime peel, vanilla, and plenty of lactose and oats to make this brew drink and look like a lime creamsicle. Abundant amounts of El Dorado, Huel melon, and Ariana hops give this IPA added complex fruit aroma. Our reviewer had this to say: this hazy milkshake IPA looks particularly ugly, a mix between neon green and blank. Is it plague-ridden phlegm or split pea soup?
Oh my god. I hope it's split pea soup.
Steph is going with split pea soup. Dan, what do you think? Phlegm or soup? Or
Horrible
phlegm
choices.
soup.
No.
Phlegm soup. Cold phlegm soup.
Yeah, my choice is 8.5. Let's go phlegm.
Dan is going with the phlegm. Nick, what do you think?
I'm going with soup.
Oh, Nick going with soup. And Tim?
Yes, the P.
Oh, going with soup as well. Dan is the only one who's wrong.
Oh, sweet.
Because it is split pea soup. This reviewer also says it has a surprising toasted bitterness that's odd and unfit in this thin but crisp ale that finishes dry with faint notes of apple and cracker.
Oh,
So there you go. And used leather. So we're going to recap the scores real quick. We have 2 more to go. Dan has 3 points. Nick and Tim both have 2, and Steph has 3 points. So Nick and Tim, you've finally gotten some points, but you are in danger of being punished. Dan and Steph, you're doing okay. Just keep up the good work.
Oh dear.
So because you guys are lowest, I'm going to let Nick go last on this next one. So we're going to start with Steph so that you guys both get their B at the end. So Steph, you are first on this next beer. This next beer is called Hazy Ex-Girlfriend by Backstreet Brewery. They say it's a hazy New England-style Imperial IPA brewed with a ton of torrefied wheat and dry hopped with over 4 pounds per barrel of Falconer's 7 Seas. This is what our reviewer had to say. He said supposedly hopped with Amarillo, but it smells and tastes like blank. Is it dish soap and failure, or my father's bitter disappointment in me.
Wasn't there a dish soap one before and it was wrong?
There was dishwasher fluid.
And it was right.
And that was right? What was the other one? My father's disappointment?
Bitter disappointment in me.
Well, hazy IPAs are not bitter, so I'm going to go with dish soap.
All right. Interesting logic, Dan.
It's actually really good logic. I'm going to say the same thing.
All right, 2 dish soaps. We've got dish soap and disappointment.
I'm on the dish soap train.
Oh, everybody's on the dish soap train.
I didn't pick dish soap last time. I'm picking it this time.
Oh, all A's. Everyone is correct. It is, in fact, dish soap and failure. Very upset. This was a common theme, saying that it wasn't actually a hazy IPA. This guy says it claimed to be a, quote, hazy IPA, but, this is clear as a beer can be. And amber, not pale. Straw yellow we have come to expect from the style. Connoisseurs, the lot of them.
Fuck that guy.
So we are pretty much in the exact same situation after that question because everyone got it right. Nick and Tim, you now have 3 points, but Dan and Steph each have 4. So
We could have an ultimate German sparkle party, though.
yeah, everybody
If they get
could
it right and
punished.
we get it wrong.
Yeah, there's a chance everyone might get punished here.
Uh-oh.
We're gonna see what happens. I know.
The pressure is killing me.
So I'm actually gonna start with Dan. but
Tim's
go-
trying to lose, by the way.
I wasn't going to say that until after
Tim
I
wants
lost.
to be
You know?
I'm gonna start with Dan and go
That's creepy,
backwards.
actually.
We can isolate that and I can send it to you.
Oh man. All right, our final beer of the game is called Ghost Island Double IPA with mango and habanero.
Man Ghost.
It's from Thimble Island Brewing Company. They say it's their flagship double India Pale Ale, dry hopped using only Citra hops that add vibrant grapefruit and citrus notes. With this batch, they decided to heat up the tropical vibe by adding mango and fresh habanero peppers for a truly unique and refreshing brew. Someone did not have a good time with it, and he had this to say. It's very tasty for about 3 seconds, but after that, it just blank. Is it A, turns to ash and regret, or B, fucks your throat so hard with no condom or lube?
I'm saying B right now. I'm skipping ahead. That's fabulous.
I'm going with B.
Dan going with
Hopefully
B?
it's gonna be B.
All right, Steph going with B. Tim?
It's gotta be.
Pretty sure we're going to both say that. But yeah, fuck that throat.
All right.
that throat.
Fuck that throat.
Yes.
Everybody's saying fuck that throat. Everybody is correct. It was fuck your throat so hard with no condom or lube. And this guy had more. I could have picked any part of the review. He goes
my
on to
God.
say, there's way too much spice, and it's not like a good buffalo wing spice. It's just Satan's dick dropping a hot load directly into your throat and makes the whole experience downright gag-worthy. I would rather scoop my eyeballs out with a rusty spoon than have to drink another one of these.
How do I get this beer?
I mean, it's from Thimble Island. It's called Ghost Island Double IPA.
Where's Thimble Island?
With mango and habanero. I don't remember.
Never, never land.
Yeah, second star to the right and straight on till morning.
Thimble White, I forgot already.
Thimble Island. So, I mean, I think, nothing's really changed here. It's called Ghost Island Double IPA with mango and habanero.
They're in Branford, Connecticut. Road trip, anyone?
There you go.
Call
So
bus.
we have
Dick.
Hey, a few of my Untapped friends have had this beer and rated it quite well.
well, they apparently
They like throat fucking.
They got lube.
They like.
They got lube. They weren't raw dog.
And someone checked it in 17 hours ago. We are going.
So my fellow beer busters, both winners today.
Oh, thank God.
Dan and Steph with 5 out of 6 points. Yeah. Unfortunately, we have a Finnish flag funerary with 4 points apiece, tied and getting punished.
Uh-oh.
Our 2 guests, Nick,
You're getting
And
punished tied together.
Tim. Yes, tied and getting punished. Yes, we're doing the Tide Pod challenge. Actually, you're gonna have to eat Tide Pods. So the punishment. So there was sort of a theme of sweetness, and when we get to Steph's Know Your Beers, it's all about sweet things as well. So I decided to look on the internet. If you ever heard, yeah, I know, right? The internet. Have you heard of it?
No.
It's pretty cool. There's those. We talked about this a little bit before the episode. There's those like magic berry things that you eat, and like you can't taste sour, so everything tastes sweet. And I was like, well, there's got to be something that makes things taste gross. So I found this spray online that is supposed to block your ability to taste sweet things, and it's sold as a supplement to help you like curb your craving for sweet foods and lose weight. So we're going to do that as the punishment. We're going to make you spray your tongues with this stuff and then drink. We brought a couple of Steph is writing crazy things on the tablecloth right now. We're going to make you spray your tongues, prevent your ability to taste sweet, and then drink. We brought like a milkshake IPA. We brought like a coffee chocolate stout. We brought something else too, or we can try some of your guys, like whatever. I just want to see what it does, and we're probably all.
We're also going to have Reese's peanut butter cups.
Yeah, we're all going to end up trying it a little bit, but it should be fun. Hopefully, it works. If you want to check it out,
hopefully it doesn't.
And I predict
work.
we're all going to do it.
We're probably all going to do it. But because the effects may last up to half an hour, we're going to do it at the end of last call. Normally, we film the punishment before we go into last call. We're going to do it the other way around because we're probably going to drink more beer in last call, and we want to be able to taste it. But yeah, if you want to listen to Last Call and see the punishment, you can sign up to become a patron on patreon.com/beerbusters. Every level of patronage gets access to the bonus content. But if you're a little more generous, you get extra bonuses like the people in the following list. We would like to thank very sincerely the following patrons on Patreon. James Lamberg.
Clams?
Jan Schenk.
No.
I'm better at that than you.
Joe Mansell.
Son of a bitch.
Jill Chivers. Sean Sullivan.
Sweet baby Jesus.
PA Brew Review.
Cerveceria.
Mark Modugno. Topher Simmons.
Give me all the cream.
Poor Man's Brewing Company.
Wee heavy.
Kathy Obashevsky.
Oh, the pretzel.
Eric Dixon.
Put it in your mouth and swallow.
Nate Fockman.
It's probably the fucking semen, isn't it?
Brian Mills.
9.
Wolfgang Von Colt.
This is bullshit.
Jen McDonald.
Tell me what you want, what you really, really want. I'll tell you what I want, what I really, really want.
Marilyn Engelman.
Edit point.
Josh Price.
I'm never amused.
Ron McDonald.
I still want some beer out of that egg.
And finally, Victoria Miles.
You're the best around.
As
Nothing's gonna ever let you down.
previously stated, if you want to find out how you get on this list and access to all the other cool Patreon exclusives, go to patreon.com/beerbusters. The bartender's eyeing us up.
I hope he's gonna be there when we do the next craft tasting one.
Yeah.
We have some of the
too.
best sound clips from him.
Yeah, that would be fun. Shall we?
Yeah.
Fuck your throat.
Let's pay our tab.
Say, Yvonne, remember when I said I'd have to send away to NASA to calculate your bar tab?
Oh, yeah. We all had a good laugh, Mo.
The results came back today. You owe me $70 billion.
So I had an idea for a business. What if you could get 5 condoms in the mail and try them on before you use them? Keep the one you want and send the rest back. Well, I pitched it to friends of mine, and they pointed out many, many shortcomings in that plan, which I hadn't thought of. So, bad idea. However, it could work for glasses. Enter Warby Parker. What's Warby Parker? Well, Warby Parker makes buying glasses online easy and risk-free, which people who have eyes that don't work well tell me it can be very annoying otherwise. So, Warby Parker will send you 5 glasses for you to try on at home for 5 days to get feedback from your friends, your family, people on the street, people on the internet, what have you. And you can send back what you don't want, risk-free, no charge, no questions asked. And for every pair of glasses that you buy from Warby Parker, they will donate a pair of glasses to someone in need, which is not an idea that I had for my condom pyramid scheme, but it sounds like a very good idea for glasses. Want to find out how you can get in on this deal? How to get your free at-home trial of glasses? Amazing. Go to warbyparkertrial.com/beerbusters.
No.
Your beers.
No. Know your beers.
Steph, what do we got? Wow. I don't know why that was so funny.
I'm going to talk about something that I regret because apparently this influenced Wayne.
Is it not peeing?
Don't talk about it. I'm going to pee my pants. So I do what I always do when I don't know what the fuck to talk about. I go to BYO.com and I see what was the newest article. So Dave Green did an article on backsweetening, and that's something we've never talked about on the show, which apparently inspired Wayne to come up with his crazy.
My not sweetening.
You're not sweetening, the opposite of it. So backsweetening, simply put, is when you add sugar to sweeten up an alcoholic beverage. It can be any type: beer, cider, mead, or even wine. And there are, of course, a plethora of sugars to choose from. Table sugar, honey, raw cane sugar, maple syrup, agave, and so on. Seems simple, right?
Yes,
Sure.
it does.
But the process is very limiting because yeast, once arrested, can no longer carbonate the beverage. But if you keg your beer, then you can easily do it well. So why backsweeten? Backsweetening is an optional task that can easily ruin your efforts if not handled properly. Bottle bombs and oversweetening are two of the most common problems associated with backsweetening gone wrong efforts. So why go through the effort when there are some other options to sweeten a beer with unfermentable sugar? First, the ability to fine-tune every batch, and second is that the flavors found in fermentables like maple syrup and honey just can't be matched with unfermentables. When to backsweeten? The process needs to occur prior to bottling for still beverages, but can happen just about any time post-fermentation if you plan to keg. If you plan to bottle, a bit of time, bulk aging and retesting prior to bottling is a good thing. Also, it takes a little time for the proper yeast arresting chemicals to fully affect the yeast. One of the biggest concerns is re-fermentation in the bottle, and a little time to make sure the beverage remains stable at room or cellar temperature can be reassuring. We've all had those bottle bombs. So how to backsweeten? Add sorbate at the rate of a half teaspoon per gallon, along with potassium metasulfite at a rate of about quarter teaspoon per 5 gallons. For more precise metasulfite calculator, you can find one at winemakermag.com/sulfite calculator.
That's a lot.
You're telling me.
Is this sulfite the yeast arresting agent?
Yes.
Yeah.
Generally, it's good practice to add the sulfite, wait 12 hours, and then add the sorbate. Wait another 48 hours, and then add the sugar. There's two ways to approach backsweetening, the guesstimate approach and the precision approach, which I'm not going to talk about, so you can get more detailed information about those two approaches on BYO.com. And for your free issue of the magazine, click on the red banner at beerbusterspodcast.com.
Beer me! Beer me! Beer me! Beer me!
Round 2, fight. There's another pitcher. And I think this is the one that we were talking about earlier, if I'm not mistaken.
The obese bovine.
The obese.
Right. The fat cow, or as I say, fa-cow.
Fa-cow.
Oh, I like fa-cow.
Fa-cow.
So this is the coffee porter.
Baltic, yeah.
Yes.
Thank you for keep saying Baltic.
Yes, Baltic
It's not just
porter.
a porter.
You're right.
It's a Baltic
Yes,
porter.
that is
It's
important.
a very big
A lot of
distinction.
people forget the Baltic, and that's
Yeah,
important.
there is, honestly. I think the one they just do as an ale, and the
Right.
Baltic you ferment like a lager.
Yes.
And this is like 7.3. I don't know if your
7.3%.
porters aren't gonna
Oh, it
be,
smells like coffee.
Oh, thank you.
You are welcome.
Oh, it smells incredible.
I love it. It's
Yes,
honestly
it's-
one of my favorite beers that we make.
I think we've said that a few times, but yes, that's true.
Have I said that?
Yeah, Liberty, you said that. Yeah.
Oh, it's so good.
Oh, yes.
Mm.
Oh, yes. Tasty.
Oh. There's like a savory thing in there.
Oh, right.
Surprise, it's beef.
Surprise, it's beef. No, there is like there's like I don't know. There's like some sort
No,
of like
I see
really
what you mean,
like
yeah.
dark savory flavor in there that I wasn't expecting.
Gravy-esque, perhaps?
Yeah, gravy
Yeah.
maybe. I was gonna say umami, but you sound like an asshole when you say umami.
That's true.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's been so long since we designed this recipe. I don't even remember what the hell's in it.
Oh, I know.
Well, you
Yeah.
make it all the
Yeah.
time, so you probably know.
Yes. There's grain.
There's grain.
There,
There's
yes.
barley. There's
Hops.
there's
And
grain,
water.
hops,
And
yeast,
then a little
Barley,
bit of
hops,
hops. Yeah, there's
water, and yeast.
Summit
and
hops.
coffee.
That's
And
it.
In
well,
this one, this
cold
is not
brew?
Reinheitsgebot.
No.
9.
Yes.
That's it's Pilsner malt, basically. The little 2-row, some chocolate and some black patent, and then Summit hop, 60-minute edition, and then
What are you doing? Giving the whole thing away?
giving it all away. There
We
you
can
go.
beep it out.
Yes. No, that's fine. They don't have my water.
It is good.
It is. It has like there's like a bright flavor that comes in like towards the end. Like it starts off like porter, dark coffee, and then like I don't know. I feel like it like
Yeah,
there's like a bright fruity
It's
character
like
that comes in at the end.
Yeah, I get some of the acidity from the coffee at the end when I swallow. What do we use? Cold brew? That's
Cold
the,
brew. Yes.
Fat Cow's cold brew.
Concentrate.
I don't know where you can even buy Fat Cow anymore.
They
bring it to us.
Stouffer's has it. I know Darren Camps used to, but they don't exist anymore. But I know Stouffer's, they said they have it there.
But they sell their coffee places.
And you can buy it here. I mean, we have it here.
Fat Cow. So if they like,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yes, absolutely.
people like coffee.
Like,
Fat
do
Cow.
you sell just like the coffee beans
The actual
here?
coffee.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, I know they've been trying to figure out a way to can up the cold brew, but you need to do it under nitro.
Yeah.
So once they get that squared away, that'll be exciting.
You could put it on tap on it.
Absolutely. That is one of the thoughts I
I would
had
like
with the new
to.
tap room
That
to
would
have
be amazing.
a
Yeah, that'd
nitrogen
be cool.
tap.
Now,
Yeah.
could you take the cold brew into the bathroom if it's open?
Yes,
I would
because it doesn't have alcohol.
Okay.
I think that's
I
the
would
key.
imagine, yeah.
That's okay.
Yeah.
I think that is okay.
And if it's not, we'll put a cap on it, and then they can take it wherever
As
they
long
want.
as it's loosely capped.
Give you a little
Oh
lid.
my god.
Yeah. Loosely capped.
Trying to. If
Oh,
it's
yeah.
illegal,
Not my
then we're
brand.
gonna put a cap on it.
Yeah,
Wow.
I really like this.
All right.
I don't want to finish it.
Yeah.
me too. It's what I when I
Okay.
walk into the brewery, this is what I order.
A pitcher
pitcher.
full of it?
A pitcher with a straw.
No, just the Fat Cow. I was handing it over there because you said you didn't want it. Apparently, you're fine.
She's
You get
good.
plenty in
She's
there.
good. I'm going to take
There's
that,
more where that came from.
Yeah. We mentioned earlier they sell this next door.
We do.
I have to drive.
Yeah.
We have
Well, I mean, they
growlers.
also sell it to
Yes,
go.
yes.
That's
touche.
true. We can put a cap on it.
They can put a cap on it. You can take it into the bathroom.
Oh my god. We could do a parody of Beyonce
Yeah,
with
that's what
these two
I'm saying.
fuckers. It'd be hilarious.
If it's illegal, then you should have put a cap on it.
Keep going, keep going.
That's all I got.
Keep going.
I mean, I know the song you're referring to, but I couldn't tell you how it goes.
If you like it, then you should have put a ring on it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
I think it's
Now I
been in
need
a
to
few
write, if
movies.
you like it, you should have put a cap on it on the tablecloth.
No, if it's illegal, you should have
Oh,
put
if
a
it's
cap
illegal,
on it.
you should have put a cap. Damn it.
That's important.
But if it's illegal, we
Do
probably
you
like
need to put a cap on it, I guess, or should you put a cap
You
on it?
should.
Okay.
I mean, you don't need to.
But if it's illegal,
You don't need to
you
not
need
murder
to put
people,
the cap on
but if you do,
Right.
there's consequences.
Got it.
it. Be a deer and cap your beer.
Be a deer and don't murder anyone.
That's a good one.
Jeez.
I'll try.
There's a lot going on that side
There
of the
is.
tablecloth.
Well, no one else is writing, so I feel like I should.
I felt like the writing was something that we were holding until the end.
You
and
don't
now
have to
I
hold
feel
it.
like
You don't have to hold it.
I could
she's-
just be
she's
over here
crushing it over
doodling.
here.
Yeah.
You could.
Her
You could.
handwriting's nice too.
Yeah.
You can
Yeah.
read
Thanks.
it.
That's really nice.
You wouldn't be able to read mine. If I wrote
No, mine either.
Let's see.
Yeah. Really?
Yeah.
It's
She's
the hell
challenging
hand.
you. He can't even hold a Sharpie. Look at his hand. It's banging. See,
all
we haven't
gnarly
even
and
talked
stuff,
about that.
yeah.
In the process of building our brewery, Tim handicapped himself.
Is that really in the process of building the brewery?
Yeah, yeah.
We tried
4
to
days,
make
actually,
sure
prior.
people understand that it wasn't while brewing beer. So
Right.
it's not
It was
Right,
before
fair.
we were legally allowed to make
Okay.
beer. But,
So we should. Nobody can see this, so we just should explain what we're talking about. You've got injury, your right hand.
Yeah.
Some of your fingers are a little shorter than they probably once were.
There's one missing completely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's
He's missing an average of 2 fingers.
I think if you blend them together,
An average.
because this is maybe a
Can that be
third
a
on
beer
this
name?
one,
Missing an
2/3.
average of 2
I don't know.
fingers?
Average of 2 fingers.
Then
That's a good
there's
idea.
The 0.5 on the thumb. Yeah, whatever.
That counts because your middle finger was probably longer than your index finger.
I think
assume.
at one point it was. Yes.
Yeah.
If I go this way,
like most of us normally.
there.
So
See, that's like
the thumb makes up for that.
The thumb makes up for it.
Crazy thumb.
Poor Tim.
Jeez.
Yeah, it was
Yep.
part of the construction. Table saw blew
Oh,
up,
wow.
and
like I
shrapnel
said,
took
we
it off, so.
we
Wow.
both grew up in Rheems, and we went to Elizabethtown High School, and we had the same shop teacher. And as soon as he did it, I
Kickback,
was like,
kickback.
"What would Mr. Gattens say?"
Oh my God.
He would be so upset with you.
I did
You
get
didn't
out of the
use
way.
a push
I
stick.
did get. Well, most of you did.
Yes,
Yeah.
it hit me
Right.
and knocked it into it, so that was
Oh.
part
Yeah.
of the
Really?
problem. But
So you're left-handed now?
no, I still have both hands.
No, I mean
He's ambidextrous.
not what I meant.
yeah, but it makes for a great.
They can't hear you.
Oh, you
it's-
got it.
wow.
Oh, wow.
Oh
The
my
X-rays
god,
on
I
your
didn't
hoodie.
even see that.
Yeah,
That's incredible.
Yeah,
That's
actually,
pretty
after
cool.
I got out of surgery, my one buddy was there, and him and his wife sat with my wife, and he's, a big fan of the Grateful Dead and whatnot, and
Yeah,
so
the Jerry
Grung,
Garcia hand who was missing a
with his
finger.
missing the finger, and he comes up to me. He's like, "Dude, I think I got an idea for a new T-shirt." And I was like, "All right, just get an X-ray of your hand, and we'll put blood, sweat, and beers on it." And I'm like, "That's perfect. We'll totally do that." So,
Yeah. Nice.
yeah, there it is. That's the actual X-ray that I pirated from the radiologist.
Nice.
But
Can I?
you
I
still
want to put
see
this
the-
on a T-shirt.
the
Can I
pin
have this?
That's in one finger because I asked them to make it a little bit longer just so I could, make sure I had enough leverage for my brake lever on my motorcycle. So-
Nice.
Priorities, priorities.
Yeah. Good point.
Get it.
Good point. Wow.
So-
Crazy.
Anyway,
Huh.
fun stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Moving on.
You hurt yourself.
Like our
Do
wear.
we have another beer to drink?
We do. We do. We have the bloody
Oh, yeah.
bucket. Speaking of bloody injuries,
So
Now-
this is the last time we watched somebody open this. For some reason, I don't know what it is, but our corked and caged bottles you cannot open with your hand.
Did you grab a corkscrew?
No, but I watched that dude open it at the brewery the other day, and I was like,
if
maybe now we can do it.
if he can do it, I can do it.
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
It's never worked, but no, it's not going to go.
You can already tell.
I'm just going to crack it off.
Oh, God.
Do you want my knife?
You should saber it.
That's what I
Yes.
mean.
It would not be the first time a beer's been sabred on
it's
our
going.
show.
It's
This
moving.
is
It's
true.
moving. You're getting
it is going.
Oh,
Yeah.
almost there.
This is exciting.
Is he going to lose?
Look at that.
That's never happened.
Look how proud he is. Look at his
Very
face.
proud. I was afraid for a minute you were going to have a matching injury.
It worked. That's never worked. When we bought
What
these
happened to your
corks,
finger?
they
A
were
cork
like,
took it off.
"This is the cork that you need for this bottle," and I was like, "No, it's not. It is clearly too big because it won't come back out."
Well, that one.
But now it does.
Clearly too big.
So after 2 years in the bottle, it actually then comes out.
2 years. That's all it
That's
needed.
the important thing.
It will not let you open it prior to 2 years.
You know, before we actually got into this this segment of the podcast, we were talking, and you were saying about saving it and knowing when it's good to open and when it like turns to crap and is no longer good to open. Maybe
yeah.
when the cork finally can be removed,
See? There it
that's
is.
how you know.
Yeah,
That
that's
now
a
is the
good
time.
point. Maybe somebody thought about this before
Yeah.
we did.
They
It's
wouldn't have
possible.
known the beer though that was going in there.
I don't
So
think it
don't
matters,
know.
honestly. Maybe it was just like, you put this, it's corked and caged. When you can get the cork out,
You're good
then
to
it's
go.
ready to drink.
Then you can
Do
drink
you
it.
want to tell them the backstory behind the bloody bucket because I
Oh,
think
yeah.
it's a great story.
I guess so. Should I just go into it?
Go for it. Tell us
Okay.
about Bloody Bucket.
All right. Well, the Bloody Bucket, it's a dark Belgian strong ale, and we got the name from another military reference, the Keystone, which is the shoulder insignia for the 28th Infantry Division.
A patch there.
Yeah, it's a red keystone, like the Pennsylvania symbol. Anyway, the Germans back in World War II, there's a lot of different ideas or theories of where the name came from, but the one that I believe the most is that the Germans referred to it in German as the Bloody Bucket. I don't know what Bloody Bucket is in German, but that's the name that they gave.
I think if you shout it with an accent, that's
Bloody buck. No.
Yeah.
Wow.
Nope.
I don't know what the word is, but apparently the Germans, they saw the red. It looks like a bucket, but it was red.
Yeah.
And they whatever Bloody Bucket is in German, that's what they called it, and that's where the term came from, Bloody Bucket. And they fought in the Hurtgen Forest and then in the Ardennes in the Battle of the Bulge. So that's where the name came from. So
being
a Belgian strong ale, and the Hurtgen Forest in the Ardennes was in Belgium.
Nice.
Yeah. Now this is 2 years old.
So you did also mention about the label has the battle map. It's a really cool looking label. It's got the red keystone on top, but you forgot to put the name and logo of the brewery on the label.
Wait, for
2
real?
years in a row.
for
by the
2
way.
years in a row. Yes, there's nothing saying CBC or Cox Brewing Company on this bottle at all. This
Can
could
you at
be-
least put it on with a Sharpie?
Yeah.
we could do many things.
The
but,
original concept was to have like a collar
You can take the bottle
with our
you.
logo on it, but we forgot to do the collar
Done.
Yes.
both times.
There you go. See, modified.
See, yeah,
Now, if
there
you'd
it
like to
is.
do that to another 20 bottles, that'd be great.
Only 20.
Only 20.
Well, from 2017, actually, it might be less than 10. Actually, at
Yeah,
this
that's
point.
not bad.
But,
There wasn't many left in there.
No.
I honestly had a hard time finding it. I found that other one that
the barley
maybe
wine.
we'll drink
oh,
later.
shoot! I wasn't supposed to say that.
It's all right.
Yeah.
There might be a barley wine in last call. You have to be a patron to hear that.
Side note, I'm checking in these beers finally on my Untapped, and I'm debating if I want to check them in at Burger King or not.
Oh, you should. You totally should. The
At least
fastest
the Beer
Burger King in
Busters one.
Pennsylvania.
Do they have a BYOB? Whatever there. Can you
Burger
go in
King?
there?
I mean, in the
Are you
drive-thru.
allowed to take?
BYO.
See,
burger.
That's a
Bring your
great
own burger.
question, to find out if you can take your own alcohol to fast food restaurants.
I don't think
In
you can.
other states, there are some.
Yeah, I
in
don't
other
think you can in
states.
Pennsylvania.
I don't think you can.
I got a beer at a McDonald's in Israel.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's a different country, but
In case you were wondering, that's not a state. That's
Whole
a
other
country.
country. Yeah.
but they had beer.
I thought that was
there.
a province in Canada.
Yeah, I was impressed, and I don't even remember what the beer was, but I had to order it because
Security guards were pretty.
it was McDonald's.
Yeah,
and
I
there
mean-
was beer.
I mean, that is a pretty unique experience.
Yeah.
It's really good.
This is incredible.
It's really nice.
You definitely get the Belgian notes on it.
You do.
I think the cork was
sweetness.
right. Now's the time to drink it.
I think so too,
Oh,
and that's
it's beautiful.
that. I mean, that's where the discussion came up because I have a few bottles at home, and I was like, man, maybe I should drink it now, or do I wait and it gets better,
Just get better,
or
just
I
get
wait
worse?
and then it gets worse, right?
Yeah.
And
It's one of those you don't know. I mean, when do you?
At least you know oxygen's not getting in there.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
cork has that hole
That's true.
sealed
Yeah.
Yeah,
quite
Put
well.
that cork on lock.
it did. It came back out though.
It did come back out,
As you
as
smell
corks
the
are
cork.
supposed to do.
Did the cork smell like something?
Sometimes.
It doesn't look wet at all. It probably doesn't smell much
Just on
like
the
anything
tip
but
there.
cork. Yeah,
Just on the tip.
it doesn't look wet at all.
Just on the tip.
Just on the tip. I don't understand why you're laughing.
Because I laugh at everything. Oh, it's on so.
Just the tip.
Oh boy, you got a sound clip for everything.
Seems like it.
Been doing it a long time.
Yeah, I thought this was pretty good. It did not taste like this when we brewed it.
No,
No, definitely. It's
probably a lot
definitely
sweeter,
cultured
yeah.
more. I mean, it's definitely
Yeah.
more flavors are coming out in different areas.
Yeah.
I mean, it currently is. This year's is currently on tap right now. So you could compare, but it's definitely more. I don't know, mellow maybe,
yeah.
softer. I think
I don't know. I just I like it.
that's so good.
It is really good. It's got like a subtle tartness to it. It's really nice.
I've always
Yeah.
leaned toward the Belgians too. I mean,
Yeah.
this is definitely one of the ones that, like, you're not necessarily more of a Belgian fan than I am, but
He
No,
doesn't
yeah.
like the French.
yeah. Well, I don't think
Whoa. I never said anything wrong about the French. I said they don't eat peanut butter. He said,
That is something
It's
wrong
true.
about the
Dan
French
did
people.
turn that into disparagement.
yeah.
they were cool.
I'm reluctant to swear.
Did you
Every time
not-
Is
she
that a
does
normal
that, I'm like,
response?
wait, that's right. We can do that.
Well, I know I've already heard you do it, but
Yeah,
for
I
some
know.
reason I'm
It
so it's
revolved
like
to the
talking to my
throat.
parents.
Just say
you
it.
know what I
Like,
mean?
You can
Say it.
swear all the fuck you want.
Say it.
I can't.
Say it.
It's fine. You
Just
don't have
fucking
to.
say it.
Shit.
I want to pressure you. Oh boy! There it is. There it is.
Oh my god.
That's as far as I'll go.
So we have one more beer to taste.
Let's do it.
Yeah, this is the surprise beer.
Are you
is it
gonna
not?
open it with your teeth?
It's a bit of a wild card.
Yeah, so this is actually a version of a beer, and you know what? A common thing is when you have a sour beer, maybe you didn't do it on purpose.
This is true. Was this not on purpose?
Well, it started out that way, and then we decided to go full on and make it on purpose. So yeah, we did a beer that we do every year. It's we call it the B52. It's a Belgian double that we.
It's a smoked Belgian double.
Oh yeah, smoked
fuck.
Belgian double.
Conditioned over raisins, by the way.
Yeah,
Oh,
we,
wow.
put
Adds anything.
raisins in the fermenter, and then this year it went a little wild. I think we underpitched a little bit, and then
Didn't like
Tim,
it.
of course, which this is I thought this was a good story. Tim called me the one day and was like, "Hey, the B52 has gone bad," and I was like,
Not
sounds
going to
like
sell this
code.
one. Not gonna dump it.
Yeah.
Gonna dump it. And he's
"Yeah,
like,
basically,
"Hold
he's
on, let
like,
me play
I'm
with
gonna
it."
dump it," and I was like, "Well, what do you mean bad?" And he goes, "It's tangy," and I was like, "Okay, well, let me. I'll be in tonight. Let me try it." So I come in, he serves it to me, and I take a sip, and I'm like, you know what? It's really not that bad. And I said, it's pretty fucking good.
Just for the record, not that bad is not my goal.
Right. No, he
I
had.
thought we established it was I don't hate it.
Well, that is true. I like that, but that's still not a goal.
Yeah, but he had a certain idea in his mind of what it was supposed to taste like, and then somebody from the outside, and I was just I was like, okay, I'll try it, and I thought it was pretty good, and it was clearly souring. So we then encouraged that, and have let it sit for a while now, almost a year. It's got to be.
Now, I don't know how carbonated this is going to be. because this literally was just put in the bottle on Monday.
It's
so I don't
more
know that
carbonated now than it was when I put it in there.
This could
So
be,
that's
What did you say the ABV was? You figured it out. Nine something?
Yeah,
9.3?
9.3-ish.
It's a big one.
I got to add this one too.
Yeah, so basically it's a beer that we underpitched. It started to sour itself, and then I actually took it and put Rosalari Blend, which is a combination of Lactobacillus, Pediococcus, Saccharomyces, and Brettanomyces.
All of them.
All of it.
All the buzz ones.
We will be canning this up. And again, like I said, this is not carbonated.
No, it doesn't look
100%
very
here.
carbonated, but that's fine.
But it's a sour beer now.
Yeah,
It's sour.
We will be carbonating this up and then releasing this at our tap room when we open. So just in cans only. So won't make it to the tap.
More sour in the nose than the taste, which
It's a little flat, but you still get that smoke to it.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, dude. Yeah, good job.
I like it. I like it.
Yeah.
I think once it carbonates, it'll be a little bit
Well, you get
more.
the aeration. And
Yeah.
you get the nose.
I think
on
the
it.
carbonation will like make it a little more, feel a little more jowly than it is. But I like when a
It's
beer.
still jowly.
Yeah, a little bit. But I like when a beer.
Oh, there's the smoke.
Yeah, it comes in at the
It's
end.
in there.
Like Dan alluded to, where like it smells like it's gonna like make you start like salivating from the back of your throat.
Mm-hmm.
But then when you taste it, it's not as tart and sour as it smells.
No, this is nice job.
I think it's turning out pretty well.
Nice job. This is the first time I got a chance to try it. So.
Oh, really?
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
And I agree. Carbonation was going to change the thing a little bit.
For sure.
I like the smoke
gonna
to it
brighten
too.
it up.
The smoke
Oh,
is
the smoke
really
is
nice.
perfect.
That's
And we
fun,
haven't
man.
put
That's
any.
a fun sour.
It's not
It
in
is.
a barrel or
Now
anything
do it
like
again.
that. So
Do it again.
Exactly like this every time.
Got it. Got it. I'm on it. I'm on it. All right.
Don't fuck it up.
That's actually what I need to do.
it was fucked up in the first place. We fixed it.
Fuck it up again.
If I can remember how I pitched that.
Yeah,
How did
fuck
you
it up
fix
and fix it again?
Yeah, it's one of those things. When we sometimes you think. I'll just take one vial of yeast here for 5 gallons, and then I'm going to grow it into a starter. And that works. It does work from time to time. Then every once in a while, you're like, oh, no, that didn't work. That did not work at all. So I think that's one of those circumstances where...
Yeah, this was actually a beer that I made up years ago that we ended up doing a collaboration with, too, with Lancaster.
Yeah.
And it was referred to as the
Camp Fryer.
Camp Fryer. And so because it's a smoked Belgian double, and actually I think if you wanted to, maybe for your
I like
other
it more
thing,
as a sour.
I still have some of that from like 3 years ago, which is awesome. I just had some.
Did you?
Like on Wednesday.
What did they give us?
Great.
Like 2 or 3 cases a person.
Yeah,
and I've been slowly handing it out because it's not like
you gave yours away. I'm harboring mine. I'm not passing that.
No, that's bullshit.
Yeah, what's left is mine. All right. Yeah.
Well, I'm going to be handing yours out then.
Damn it. So that was fun.
So if the internet wants to find you, where should they go?
They should come to our address, which is
next to
Elizabethtown.
Rheems.
We're in Rheems.
in Rheems. Yeah,
The
we
new
have
tap room at
so
Elizabethtown,
we do have a website. It's coxbrewingcompany.com, but we don't update that very
social
often.
media
It
like
seems
Facebook,
so lame to
Instagram.
update
When do
our
you guys
website.
open?
Oh, that's a good question.
That is a great question.
5 to 9 on Wednesdays and Fridays.
Yes.
And then 12 to 5 on Saturday.
Okay.
That's now.
By the time this airs, we'll probably still be those hours when this airs. And then the new location,
Shortly thereafter.
the Rally Point location,
Yeah.
will be Wednesday through Sunday. Wednesday and Thursday, 5 to 10.
Yeah, it'll still be evenings, like 5 to 10, 5 to 10 on
All day
Friday, and then
Saturday.
all day Saturday, and then like what was
Early
Sunday?
afternoon,
Like 12
like 12 to 5 or something.
5, yeah.
Yeah. But the hours will change if we need to be, but that's a good starting point. So,
That's in the future.
yeah.
So right now, yeah, it's weird hours.
That whole
and that's
other
like
year.
the biggest
That
thing
whole
that we hear from everybody is like,
When are you open?
yeah, or your hours are so hard.
Bizarre.
Like we can't
Yeah.
get there because you're never open.
What you need is to put a light above the door.
We have a light above the
Yeah,
door.
But you don't have hours.
We have
you
an
just
open sign.
You just turn it on when you're open, and people.
What
just
are
have
they,
to,
ferment reform?
Yeah, that's like
Yeah,
An
like
open sign.
Like a speakeasy
open
or something.
Yeah.
I wish that would work. Unfortunately, in Rheems, in the bustling metropolis of Rheems.
Yeah, you do have to
we
kind of like drive up a sort of driveway to an industrial complex to get in.
Seriously, there's probably, I'd say, roughly speaking, maybe 70% of the local community has never even driven up this road.
Yeah.
So, like, when you tell them to go up
there's nothing up this road.
Go up the creepy road.
Like, where there's a quarry and a train track. Yeah, I don't know where I'm going, you know, and all of a sudden, hey, on the right, there it is, you know. Yeah. It's
but once you get up here, it's not scary.
Yeah,
there's beer.
We're friendly up here.
Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah, we're
I've
just
driven
hidden
through
away.
way worse places to get to a brewery.
Way worse places.
And you're next to a bear, but it's only a name.
Yeah.
They do bear, by the way.
It has a deer head and it says
Will they process bear?
Absolutely.
Like if you bring a bear
I helped
in?
them unload one the other day.
Oh, really? Oh, shit.
I think they'll do whatever.
Yeah.
Are we talking grizzly? Are we talking black bear?
Black bear.
Black bear.
Polar bear?
Do people eat bear?
I haven't seen that. Oh, bear's good.
Really? You've never had bear?
Yeah. Oh, you need to eat bear.
I've never had bear either.
You
I've
just
also
eat
never had
bear.
a desire
Yeah,
to eat a
whatever.
bear or kill a bear.
There's a YouTube channel I watch where he did a bear meat stew when Red Dead Redemption came out.
Steph is about to throw up, I think.
You know what?
Can we end this now?
Steph doesn't want to hear
I
about
want to try
this.
bear meat. Let's go to Cabela's.
Red Dead
curious what it
Revolver
tastes like, yeah.
was way better than Red Dead Redemption.
What
Is it like every
Red
meat
Dead
that's like
Revolver.
exotic?
Never
People are like,
played it.
oh,
The
it tastes
original.
like chicken.
Yeah, this was the first I ever played.
No, it's definitely not
Yeah,
chicken.
okay.
No, yeah.
It's better.
This is definitely steak. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
What about steak?
Bear tastes like steak, not chicken.
Oh, okay. All right.
Chicken steak.
Is
Bear
it, still,
steak.
is it red meat? Is it still considered red meat?
It's white meat.
It's Red Dead
No, I think it's,
Redemption meat.
I think it's red.
There is steam coming out of her ears right now.
Well, while you are online,
Turtle's really good.
I've got a story about that.
God.
Ooh, I found a turtle in our cooler the other day.
Cooked it? Wait, what?
No. It
That was crazy.
It was like the size of a silver dollar. It was a snapping turtle. It was in our walk-in cooler. We're moving kegs.
It's just there?
It was-
Yeah.
We were
So,
moving
like-
kegs, and
yeah,
it popped
just-
out,
just
and
to be
I almost
clear-
stepped on it.
Just to be
shit.
clear here, the keg was brought in, you know, and that's how it got there. Not like
Yeah.
we have a harvest of turtles.
Harvest
no.
of turtles.
No, somehow I don't know how it got under the keg, but it did. Either way, it was a tiny little snapping turtle. We brought it outside. I thought it was dead.
It was frozen.
It was basically
frozen.
frozen. And then as it sat out in the sun, Tim was like, that thing is moving.
moving.
And I was like, no, it's not. And then I took it home. I picked up my daughter, and it's sitting on the seat, my passenger seat of my car. And I get out. I'm talking to a friend. I get back in, and the thing is a full-on snapping turtle now walking around in my car. And I was like, whoa. And I touched it, and it, turtled. It went back in.
Yeah. Turtle.
Yeah. And then we took it home. I put it in a little thing of water, and it was running around. It's fully alive.
that's
Tiny
cool.
little silver dollar size snapping turtle.
Kids.
And I gave it to the kids, and I told them to take it down to the creek.
He's
There you
back
go,
out
kids.
there now.
Yeah. And then
Next time
went
your
and released
parents
it.
say we have to, send your pet to a farm upstate or whatever, just, you can just thaw them out in the car. It'll be fine.
That was the craziest thing. I never thought I'd
was
find
pretty
a
crazy.
What you
snapping
don't know
turtle.
is that
He
dads have
definitely
the
looked
ability
dead.
to bring
Yeah.
things back to life.
That's true.
That was
yeah.
magic.
They don't always tell you.
That's
Magic.
the real message.
For all the children that listen to this beer podcast.
Yes.
Vitamin D. There you go. Solar power.
Can we end this now?
Well, while you're out there on the internet looking at Cox Brewing, I had to say brewing because it'd be weird otherwise. While you're looking for their hours and all, and stay posted for when the new location officially opens up and when the new system is in use. That's cool. That's exciting. But remember to follow us at Beerbusters on Twitter and Instagram. Facebook, we are Beerbusters Podcast. You can also go to beerbusterspodcast.com. and patreon.com/beerbusters. Don't miss out on this punishment.
It's going to be weird. I don't know what's going to happen.
You said we're all going to do it. I'm probably not going to do it.
No, you're not going to do it?
No.
Okay.
I'm scared.
All right,
I'm
whatever.
doing it. Fuck it.
Fuck
You
it.
should do it.
Fuck it,
Let's
she
do it
says.
live.
Fuck it, let's do it recorded.
Come on.
What if you do it? What if we do it and none of us can taste anything ever again?
That's my fear.
Yeah.
That's my fear and why I don't want to do it.
It's an herbal supplement. It probably barely works.
30 days it's out of your system.
yeah, but there are herbs out there that kill people.
I'm totally gonna let them do it first.
Yeah. It's all plants. It's all plants. I'll read the
what we
label
do.
in last call.
It's just plants.
First in,
Or in
last out.
the, whatever. We'll figure it out. It's just plants. Plants are fine.
Don't forget
Plants never hurt anybody.
No.
Don't forget to rate and review us on your podcast app of choice, and do that for every podcast you listen to, because that's what
Yeah,
we
do
all
that.
need. We need validation.
805-991 beer.
Yeah, that
No
that
one
too.
calls us
Don't
anymore.
don't. I mean, you can.
Even James stopped calling.
I'm still going to get the
Can
notifications.
you
but-
forward a phone number? Like if somebody calls that number, can we forward it to a phone sex line?
There's nothing left in there. It's empty.
Did we tell
I
that
don't
story
know.
on the show
No, we can tell it in last
What?
about the C&D?
We'll tell it.
Oh, that. Yeah,
to
that's
be
right.
able to hear about it.
That's right. Well, guys, thank you so much for having us out here. This has been a hell of a lot of fun. The beers were delicious.
Yeah, thank you.
And
Thank you.
very excited for what's in the future for you guys in your new spot and your new system. That's cool that you get to break that in soon.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's exciting.
Well, I am Dan Baker. I am joined by my co-host and brewologist,
Steph Huffman.
and of course the demented and fermented and air pianoing.
Wayne Baker.
Is that what you were doing? Was air
Yes.
piano? Oh,
Yeah.
cool. Remember, no squids were
Massaging
harmed
the
in the making of this episode. I don't think any turtles were.
It's kind of like jazz
No.
hands.
They were saved.
They were saved. We'll see you
Yes.
next time.
Save the turtles. Harvest the turtles.
Harvest the turtles.
They'll process bear.